futures bouncing back nicely in early trading this morning as we look to extend some strength coming off of another late day sell-off yesterday. We are seeing a little bit of weakness still in oil stocks as crude continues its move back to the downside that we saw triggered essentially by that announcement from President Joe Biden yesterday saying the U.S. will ban Russian oil imports. So crude down more than 3%. We saw Brent crude down more than 1.5% to start the day. Other commodity prices back to the downside as well. Again today, some wheat prices falling. Wheat down, futures that is down 6%, back to 1,200 a bushel. Palladium, the only one really showing any kind of strength so far today, back to the upside 3.8%. For palladium. Big dive yesterday, as we said, for stocks right across the board. The Dow was down more than 580 points at the end of the day. The S&P 500 0.7%, the NASDAQ 0.2%. But overall, it was a wild, choppy day. Back and forth, 100-point or 100-handle range, top to bottom on the S&P 500, that is. We'll talk about some oil coming up here. We'll talk about some earnings as well, both Stitch Fix and Bumble reporting heading in the opposite direction. You might be surprised as to which is up. Oil stocks, as I said, tech as well, showing a lot of strength here this morning. Some upgrades coming through for some individual tech stocks. So we'll look at that. It's Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. All right, there we go. Yeah, nice numbers to start things off right across this entire board. You can see crude oil standing out there, the only one in the red today. Big move back to the downside, 3.3%. I mean, it's up so much over the past couple of weeks here, 3% back to the downside. Probably needed at this point, but it's the NASDAQ they're leading, 2.5% so far. The Dow and the S&P more than a full percent. Yeah, huge moves for Bitcoin and Ethereum on the overnight session this morning. So a nice look for some of the crypto-related stocks as the quote-unquote apparent leaked statement yesterday is helping some of the crypto markets. So we'll talk about that quote-unquote leaked statement yesterday that's helping the crypto markets. Good morning, guys. Interesting look here so far. Finally seeing a little bit of follow-through, it would appear anyways, to kick things off back to the upside.
Yeah, welcome to Hump Day, and so far looking so good in the market. Obviously, they leaked. That crypto order, or whatever you want to call it, from the administration. I don't know. I feel like when things come out when they're not supposed to, and a lot of times it's done so that you can gauge what the public and what people think about it, and then maybe redraft it or whatever. Either way, who cares? At this point, it got out, and it was seen as favorable. Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies are up across the board, like 5 to 8%. Coinbase up here 7%. The one thing I was surprised with is after the phenomenon of all these like oil names, small cap, low float oil names running, and then there was a couple of material names, I was really expecting to see some low float, hey, yada 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 crypto type stocks up to upside today. Didn't really see a lot of that, so I'm gonna be watching some Coinbase today. But the story is the turnaround in the market. We are seeing a very, very strong open. At least, well, I shouldn't say that because we're an hour until the open, but 2% up in the ES, we'll definitely take it. And oil stocks will be in play. It doesn't matter whether they're up or down. The volatility is not going anywhere, so have to be on watch for those. Bumble, Stitch Fix. I mean, they're not doing a ton of volume, but 20% in either direction. That's going to be worth a watch.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, we're already getting ready to pound some oil shorts right now. Yeah, crude down right here, 5%. NASDAQ up 2.5%. Hear that? Was that bad there, Lucas? Okay, so just wake up, everybody. I gotta chug some water here. But okay, Oxy right now. I'm gonna go short 51. We've talked about. I put that on the sticky note here. We'll see if it can break down lower through 51. We'll see. I don't know. That's the play I'm looking at here. A big runner. We've seen oil come back in. We do want to get short something. We absolutely banged it out yesterday with our XOM long. Took 250 on that one. We'll see if we can do something opposite of that today with Oxy here. So we'll see about Oxy. This is what I'm looking at. And then we have AAL Also for the long side, I think, on the oil move. So kind of back and forth there is what we're looking at. But hey, we're here. We're excited. This is going to be a big day in the market. I was saying that yesterday. Remember, I said I think the Fed also will rally the market next week. So hey, if we get Fed rally next week plus a little bit of relief here from the Russia-Ukraine talks, absolutely great. Plus crypto going. That's always nice. This is going to be a big day. Mark my words.
Close there yesterday was a little concerning, but good to see a nice bounce back above some key levels here to kick things off so far this morning. Let's bring in Ms. Fee to start things off. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy trading to you all. I wish you a wonderful day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the show. Make sure you like this video, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yep, let's get right into things, guys. Lots to get you caught up on that happened over the past 24 hours. We'll talk about crypto in a second here, but I want to mention tech. Right out of the gate here, the mega cap tech stocks specifically looking pretty good here in the pre-market. Just having a look at Apple back above 160, which was a bit of a level yesterday. During the event, after the event, ends up being resistant. So gaps right through 160, trying to rally right now back to day highs. But following the event yesterday, I mean, there's Apple, there's Microsoft, all of them in positive territory so far.
I don't think there was any crazy surprises out of the Apple event. Realistically, it ended up just following the market. You're going to get a bounce. It didn't quite get to that 154, 155, but pretty close to it, that 200 period. And look, you want to see the market break out here. I'm going to put side by side maybe the NASDAQ just so you can see yesterday's. I'm more talking about like that spike high where we had the reversal here. And you're lining up for a potential, at least attempt to take out this top. Up 2.5%. There's some worry like maybe at the open you pull back off a level like that. So thinking about some dips might make a lot of sense to me. But make sure you're looking at the overhead resistance on the futures when you're watching any levels. Apple's about the choppiest chart that it gets in terms of these highs. So there's nothing really setting up for it except we know where the good dips are. 160 sets up as support. You know 55 and that 200 period moving average is going to be pretty solid for this name. I expect it to follow the futures, but we've had a lot of whipsaw action the last couple of days where those initial highs usually get rejected first. Even if they break, there tends to be a pullback. And we're real close on that NASDAQ, only 50 points away.
Yeah, the one that I'm going to be looking at, and what's up to Lady Elvina, I have fixed the bull, so he is, or she, he, I guess, yeah, I was going to say or she, is ready to rock and roll today. We still need a name for the bull, so maybe, yeah, I'll put something on Twitter. Maybe we could name this bull, but yeah, no, not hungover. I don't drink during the week at all, and I really don't drink at all, really, but just a frog in my throat here, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, what's up, Niagara Charlie? I see that AMC level. Okay, so what we're looking at here is 1625. See, Niagara? Now you got me thinking about AMC. We will talk about AMC, but we're talking about big cap tech. So let's go to my favorite. It's going to be Microsoft. You guys know what happens when Microsoft starts to move. I really like to trade this name. Yesterday we hit this. It was a very good trade for us yesterday as well. Another positive name. NASDAQ up 2.5%. I'm thinking that this 280, 281 is definitely something for support if we do dip back in. I already have bids right there on this. I have offers on Oxy, bids on AMD, and bids on Softy. So we'll see if it comes back into this area. We're already up 3%, same as the market. So I just, I want to buy some dips, or I was thinking, I wrote down here, what about 284.50? So it's at 284 right now, and then 284.50, it's not really anything major, but it's some of these wicks back here for the last, I guess that's yesterday, so it's 2 days ago, it's 284.50 that we tested a couple times. So if we can break through there, then Microsoft, for me, would be a screaming long, but at the same time, like we mentioned, we're still 50 minutes away from the open. And if the market was open, I would say in 10 minutes, we can give this all back, So it's a big rally right now in the pre-market, but I don't know what's going to happen once this market does open. So I'm very weary again of taking any breaks. So that's been my worst trade the last month, let's just say, taking these pre-market high breaks. So it's very whippy off the open, many of these markets, both oil and equity. So for me, I'm going to look to see if we can pick up some bids down here. And just like yesterday, remember when we hit the Neo short, we let it open up. We did miss that first level, but it did come back for us, that 18, and then we shorted it, and Neo was one of my, No, my number one stock was CEI yesterday, but NEO was right there. So you got to be patient with it. I'm going to do that with Microsoft, and we'll talk about AMD when we get to the chips.
Yeah, lots of options this morning. The market in need of a bit of a bounce here. We'll see if it holds. I mentioned a number of upgrades, guys, in tech as well. Here's a couple to start things off. If we can, thanks, Lucas. Netflix, first off, Wedbush liking Netflix back to neutral, not really doing anything here in the pre-market, but Palantir, Sean, up nicely so far, 3.5 plus, after a Piper Sandler starting coverage with overweight on PLTR.
Look, Brendan, we don't talk about Palantir.
Bad luck.
Okay, but no, just playing around. Yeah, just like Bruno, we'll have to talk about it at some point here. Look, it's an upgrade. That's great. It's an initiation by them putting a $15 price target on Palantir. Look, I've already said the bull case for this name. I mean, it keeps getting beat down. I'm looking at SoFi today as well. But Palantir's off a little bit off of these lows, right? I mean, that's what a lot of these stocks are going to look like. It's tough to sit here and say like, oh man, Palantir is going to be, you know, the greatest stock to own of all time. I don't think that. I just think that it's been beat down. I like the numbers. They're a 20-year-old company. I feel like they're going to turn profit, and when they do, this thing absolutely is going to rock and roll. For me, they're in all the right spaces. It's just, I don't know if it's management. I don't know what it is right now, but Palantir really needs to get going here. They're in military contracts, defense, cybersecurity, immigration, well, that's border control, medically they're there. They just signed a deal with a water company I guess it was last month. At some point, it could have even been last week. But, you know, when you look at a daily chart, it's been right to the downside. I mean, you could look up DraftKings, Snowflake, a lot of these names. And the PE on this is still quite high. I was just going to add SoFi to the list, but let me see what Palantir PE still is. Yeah, 40. So, I mean, it's still super high. You're still paying growth prices for this name. But, with all of that said, I feel like if we could take 12, then you're jamming, right? And I like that. And I think the YOLO play right now, if you really did like Palantir, is just to go hard in this thing and get out if it breaks 10. I mean, I think that's the YOLO play here, and I feel like a couple more upgrades, some positive notes on Palantir. We definitely break this 12, and then we sit around here 14 for a bit. That's where the 50 period is. Obviously, we need a break there to get this thing going, but hey, I like the company. Do I think it's right for this space? Maybe not. But like I said, this is a name that could go absolutely nuts when the Fed sort of changes course a little bit. And I don't think they're going to change course completely, but I do think that Powell's going to come out, say some positive things, and start to spark some of these growth names. So unlike, C3AI or things like that, I really think Palantir does have a pretty good future here. And I'm looking for longs, but we'll see. I don't know if today's going to be the day.
I'm going to throw the chart for C3AI. I'm glad you mentioned it because realistically, you mentioned like about 50,000 contracts there or different companies that Palantir works with. C3AI, say it every time, works with 3, which makes them a riskier bet. And you mentioned price to earnings ratio. Well, they don't have one. So look, this level here at $19, 19 and a quarter. So just day after day, we've been able to see it. You can actually see even like this 20 shelf, but there's been shallow bounces off it. The last time getting to the 50 period and rejecting. So if there's going to be one of those relief rallies to the upside and one of these data names, I think can go the other way. I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to short C3AI. On a weaker market, I'd probably be looking for a breakdown. Obviously, everything's up like 2 to 5% here today, so you're not really seeing that level challenged yet. But I think it's probably a matter of time there. I'm not sure the worst is over for some of these names. A lot of them actually. I'd put C3AI into that particular camp. I'm looking first at 22 if it spikes higher, and then where I sort of got in didn't give enough room at 24. If it gets anywhere close to that, I don't think we're seeing the 50 period at 26, but 22 and 24. Those are the 2 levels I would want to be fading on C3AI if this market wants to push through. I don't think they're poised nearly as well, and there shouldn't be as many buyers or as strong of buyers in that name.
Look,
right.
Just quickly here. Look, I see some people talking on the chat, right? It's like 50% of the NASDAQ is down 50% or more. Okay, so it's not like we're going to sit here and pretend like, when we said Palantir was a good buy at 14. When you're looking at charts and things like that, I mean, I'm just looking at the cues here. I mean, this has been bled to the downside. That's why I always say, if you're going to play some of these names, you got to watch out for key levels. And I would rather, if you're trying to invest right now, I'd rather just put your money into the Qs at these levels, not a stock like a Palantir. That's why I'm saying to you, they're at some nice levels right now to the downside. And if you can get Palantir, like I said, put your money into it, you can get out at 10. Like that would be, again, a 10% drawdown. If you got out, if you get in at 11 and you're out at 10, that's 10%. That's like, worst case scenario. I think it's worth it for the upside potential from these levels. So that's, it's just like, unless you're invested in, which thankfully I am, the Microsofts, Apples, unfortunately Facebook has been going down, but a lot of these names have been helping keep the NASDAQ propped up, but 50% of the NASDAQ is down 50% or more. And that's not getting any better. So, just make sure that you're watching your stocks, just like SoFi, man. I mean, SoFi was $25 a month and a half ago. Now I'm writing it down, $10 here on the sticky note, right? And a lot of us like SoFi. So I don't know. We'll see where these stocks go from here. But it's not like these have been amazing to work with. In November, we heard the rhetoric coming. Like the last time I bought, I didn't buy all the way down on Palantir. I bought at 12.05. That was my last buy. So hopefully I can get another dip buy there at $10. And I don't mind C3AI, but I really like SoFi the best.
Yeah, and it's also always good to see some positive momentum coming through and some positive analyst coverage coming through as well to maybe kickstart a bit of a rally here. So yeah, good luck. As promised yesterday, if you were here about this time, we were mentioning Vale, V-A-L-E, in New York, and I said that it was a Brazilian stock, and that was an ADR, so we have to be a little bit careful when you're trading ADRs, but an oil move nevertheless. We're happy today to have Edward Serres, Director of Latin American Equity Sales and Trading at XP Investments, joining us, as promised, to discuss the Brazil market as a whole, but also give some ideas potentially for today. Brazil already open and trading. Oil under pressure. It's been the hot topic all week long. Edward, it's great to have you. First of all, welcome to the show. Tell us, first of all, how the week has been as far as Brazil is concerned.
Well, look, there's been fantastic risk-on trades in Brazil. We've seen a lot of inflows in January and February. But since the war, I think, this commodity move has really made things difficult for the name Vale, for instance. It back in the 2000s, it bought a Canadian company called Inco and got into the nickel space. It's had some up and downs, but more recently, the stock had moved steadily because nickel is a big key ingredient in rechargeable batteries. But this move in nickel recently, and the fact that they've stopped trading in the futures has really, last week I think we were up about 16% in Vale, and most recently I think it's down 5% today. Just again, the move itself is temporary, because of the war, and I think that's what we're seeing, a bit of retracement over the last week of Vale's move. PBR is another. Petrobras again has an ADR and a local and an underlying local. That has been that's moved differently than international oil, with international oil stocks. PBR, the main reason that it's been underperforming is because the government has always capped gasoline prices domestically, and there was a lot of talk that they would freeze prices, and obviously, a lot of that is already built in. Petrobras is a very, very political stock because it's a semi-private, semi-public company. To add another layer, it's an election year. We have the incumbent Bolsonaro, who is a conservative, and then Lula, who is more populist and liberal, are running against each other in October. Right now, Lula is leading by over, I think the last poll, they have a 2-round election system. So if you would take if you had the election today, Lula would be winning by like 15 points. So, again, cautionary tale both in Vale and Petrobras, because there's a lot of moving parts. I think a lot of that is already built in. But again, you gotta be careful when you're investing in Brazil. There's a saying, Brazil, it's not for beginners.
Very well said. Embraer, I wanted to mention the obviously the tie between oil rising and the crazy rally that we've seen here and the cost of fuel for these airlines and some of the travel companies. Embraer, tell us about that one, the biggest airline. Well,
I'll tell you, this one is kind of funny. It's traditionally it's been a small jet, smaller jets. They don't do the big 737 Boeings and what have you. The more smaller, short haul. But recently, I've seen a lot of interesting headlines, starting with the fact that they're looking at electronic cars, electronic flying cars, like the VTOL types of like jets. So I thought that was that was very interesting. They've also talked about air taxis. Boeing has there was an article back in January 25th in the Wall Street Journal. Boeing invested another $450 million with a joint venture with Google, which is also looking into air taxis. So the fact that they're getting into that space, and more recently, they've been pivoting and using some of their passenger jets. Not to get too technical, the E90, the E190, and the E195 that are typically passenger jets, and they're moving them into air freight, into air freight conversions, which I thought was interesting, considering the price of cargo right now in some of these big tanker ships and container ships, I should say. So I thought that they're seeing a shift in the market, and they're trying to adapt. Again, the stock is up. It's down 37% year to date. I think a lot has to do with it's kind of inventing itself. But over the last year, it's up about 26%. So I mean, that's one to keep an eye on. I kind of see it like a Brazilian Tesla.
Volatility always a benefit in both directions. I mean, we have to be careful, obviously, but these are the times. Edward Serres, Director of Latin American Equity Sales at XP Investments. We appreciate your time this morning.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great day. A few ideas, guys. We were mentioning Vale yesterday, Petrobras also with the ADR that trades in New York. So some cross-country and cross-market stocks to look at this morning.
Yeah, flying cars. Embraer, that's another one, by the way, that also, if you're looking, you can trade. A lot of the bigger names are going to be on the New York Exchange. Oddly enough, that's why you'll see an imbalance, and we'll ignore a big imbalance. It's like, its primary listing is in Brazil. But yeah, there's all kinds of energy opportunities in Brazil. I actually remember that Inco deal back in the day. But yeah, it's always good to get those different perspectives. That's what it's all about here, and making sure that we're learning on an everyday basis. A couple of things while that was going on. I mean, the market did. I didn't do much of a U-turn, but a little bit of a shelf. I want to say. I'm just going to pull up quickly, just a little bit of a pullback there. I kind of felt this was going to happen. You get close to that pre-market high or those yesterday's tops, and you get a bit of a pullback. So that leans me to liking some of those dip buys, and that's the reason behind it. So we're going to be on some of these bids. One bid that I'm definitely going to be on today is going to be Coinbase in front of 170. That even dollar range was pretty interesting. And Bumble just broke out.
Yeah, always check out Brazil, man. Brazil, big, obviously, resource economy. So I think we did a great job there with our guest from XP. So I think that was great, Brendan. But right now, it looks like if we're ready, I don't know, the board just got changed up a little bit there. There it is. So we are ready. Thumbs up from Brenda over there at the big screen with upgrades and downgrades.
We had to refresh. Let's have a look at some upgrades and downgrades, guys. Bumble, top of the list. We were kind of surprised with Bumble and Stitch Fix. Opposite directions, as I was saying at the beginning there. So Bumble moving high side. Dix is on here from yesterday. Netflix, ExxonMobil back to the upside. That was a price target increase, but you can see oil going to be the story there. There's Stitch Fix at the bottom over here. Pepsi out of Russia, along with Coca-Cola, PayPal, and Gap, guys. Back to it's actually higher for both, but price target cuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see like Pepsi also
what's going on with
possibility
Pepsi right now?
Well,
I guess
possibility of recession as well. Like that's not going to bode well for them. Like,
that's at a nice level right
yeah,
now.
defensive names are great, but when you start thinking about economic slowdown, not so great. And some of the things about like pulling out of Russia, people say, oh, it's not that big of a deal for some of these companies, but McDonald's does like 9% of their global revenue is in Russia, 3% of their income, but like 9% of their revenue. Like that's actually pretty big. They own most of those stores there. So it can matter a little bit. I was just saying Bumble up 27% now. It just broke out. It doesn't have a ton, that and Stitch Fix, there's not a ton of pre-market volume, not usually names I would have liked to take a pre-market break. I was really hoping that kind of a thing would happen at the open. It's set up to go in either direction with a 20 bottom and a 20.75 top right there. But man, Bumble, they're actually not as expensive as you would think on a PE basis. But either way, they're going to get a big beat. We'll talk about it a little bit. But if it gets to 24, I think that's the next level up. I was looking 24, 25. That would be that sort of line in the sand type area where I would have shorted. If it comes back to give an entry off of this 20 for long, I'll take it. But I was also very prepared to just take any break in either direction, just given the nature of the gap fill. It's so wide. Like almost every gap fill, when you've been breaking a tight consolidation, has been worth it risk to reward in the last few weeks on these earnings plays.
Well, Amazon is pretty down too. I was just going to say the only name here, and I thought I saw some news about Eli Lilly. Maybe it was yesterday or the day before, but this has been my biggest winner here in the COVID, in the last month, I would say. I mean, COVID, I guess, is the Russia thing right now. But, we bought some Eli Lilly down here for the first time, actually, in the 240s. Now it's up to 261, and this is what I mean about diversifying what you own. And like I own just as much Eli Lilly as I do. And I'm not just harping on Palantir again, but I also do own McDonald's, which we just talked about as well. That's been, look, McDonald's been a good trade for me, but again, I didn't get anything out at the top here for McDonald's, and that's all the way to the downside here on a 20-minute chart. It's just been pretty hit over the last little while on this, and I know it was just yesterday or the day before that they went back and forth and then finally pulled out of Russia, not pulled out, but closing their stores. Yeah, there was some boycotts going on with McDonald's as well because of that, and they weren't doing it, so that's part of this move to the downside, and like you said, a big part of their revenue coming from that. And I know Valeria was singing some sort of a Big Mac song or something yesterday on Brad's show. Yeah. But you're down to some of these levels again. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They do pay a dividend here, but you got to go all the way back for some of these levels back into March of last year of 2020. So you're basically back one full year. So you've given up all of that all the way back in. So it's not completely the end of the world for McDonald's, but I think that if you get into this area between 200 and 205 here, then, I mean, 205 would be the bottom, but this is a great area, I feel like, to buy. This thing in Russia, look, it will settle down. I'm hoping, I think we're all hoping that. And if it doesn't, then we'll see. They could sort of go back on some of their talk here and possibly, with humanitarian release and they're giving a ceasefire here and things like that. I'm just hoping that it can settle down. And then if McDonald's does dip down about that 10% more, and it's going to be similar to Pepsi here. Oops, PEP as well. Oh, Pepsi's a NASDAQ stock. That's right. I knew that. There it is. Okay, good. Pepsi.NQ here. So if you ever see me and Neil fumble it, if you get an NQ, that's going to be a NASDAQ name, and an NY, obviously the other way, and then NYSE American. But it's the same thing here for Pepsi. You see you get this level here about 150, even if you dump it a little bit lower. But either way, it's 10% lower. So 10% lower in Pepsi gets you to this 140 area. Same thing with McDonald's at 200. So I like these levels in some of these big stocks when they're perennial dividend payers as well. So yeah, I like some of these names when you get back into it. But thing is, if the market's going to rally, really, I just want to be in tech if the market's going to rally. But if you want to diversify, I'm huge. My largest holding is Google. My second largest is Microsoft. Then you have Apple there. It used to be Facebook. So I'm still in all these tech names. AMD is there as well. Nvidia is there. So as far as diversifying, sure, I do have some of the other names like we just talked about, McDonald's, Eli Lilly. I own like 30 names. So well diversified, but again, if there is going to be a rally, it's not going to be in names like Pepsi. I would look for big cap tech.
All right, let's bring in Arun here, get a check of the overall market and a little bit better idea as to what to expect on a day where we see the rally out of nowhere almost. A nice gap up here this morning. Arun, what are you looking at?
I mean, it's a rally, but let's put it in perspective here, it's a rally inside the range. It's a wide range. So if we keep going up, we're going to hit some resistance levels, which could be faded. We saw this area yesterday. It's also somewhat of a decent support area from Monday as well. Was a previous support area from Monday as well, around that 42.60 mark. So as soon as we get into 42.60 and going all the way up to, for me at least, 4,300, we're going to start to look for some fades here. This can keep going, of course, yes, but at the same time, you got to keep it in perspective, keep the context alive here. Wide range, right? So 4,300 up top, 42.60 going up. We're going to look for some fades. And on the downside, yeah, it's going to be a wide one. 41.65 going down to 41.25. 41.25 has been in play for a few days now, but it's going to be 41.65 going on down. So you got two wide ranges. You either buy through the bottom if it sets up, you short through the top if it sets up, everything in the middle. For anyone who's scalping, have fun. I'm going to stay away from anything in the middle. I'm just going to look for the two edges there. This might be one of those situations where you kind of focus on other things. I am noticing that crude, though, crude is also moving. So crude now sitting at just below 118. So that could be a market that's of interest for anyone else that's looking for futures trades, I guess, for the time being. But again, ES sitting inside of a really wide range, and we're just going to wait this one out.
Yeah, coming back in once again as we speak. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's get on to what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. Miss B will have that link for you in the chat if you want the watch list. Absolutely free watch list every single day. The first kind of group to have a look at again this morning, we've been trading kind of sector moves over the past week as oil's been moving. Travel affected by this as well. Oil back to the downside in a big way here, but as Arun was just saying there, a bit of a bounce currently.
Of oil here. I mean, I have the chart up right now of oil, and as you guys can see, it's starting its descent a little bit here into 118. We can call up a daily chart and see all these, but it doesn't really matter what levels. You just got to, I feel like you got to play the momentum. We've seen oil move around. I mean, I'll call the daily up for you right now. We've seen oil move around a lot, and I don't know where there's going to be a key level or not. Like when you're moving 5%, 10% a day, things like that, and you're very, very specific, this is only going to go back to here because of the contract that I'm looking at. But you could see, you know, we really started to get excited here at 115. Oh, I got to change that. Right now we're at 117. So into this, between 110 and 115, there is a little bit of an area of support here. So that's something to look at between 110 and 115 as we're at 117.50 right now. And I just want to watch it here today. For me, the trade that's going to be, and let me do that again to put it back to a minute chart because that's what we want to look at here, not a daily. We'll go like that. Then I'm going to fix that little price thing there as it's in blue right now. We'll do that in a minute. But I was looking at Oxy. So Oxy today, a big high flyer, Occidental obviously, looking to break through. Still Pepsi chart. There it is. Looking to break through 51 bucks. We'll see if it can do that. We held right there, 51.50 yesterday at the bottom and before ripping back to the upside. This is a very, very violent name. That's why I want to trade it, to be quite frank. You know, there's the dip. Yesterday we opened 57. We touched down to 54. That's $3. That's like 8% right there just off the open. And then a rip back up that 8%. Then a move down from 59 yesterday down to 51.50, which is right where we're at right now, before bouncing back up here to 55. Like this is like, what? That's 10 bucks. That's, well, $9 on 50 right there. So that's like an 8%, 9% move to the downside. Then another bump back up. Sorry, what am I talking about? That's $9 on 50. That's like a 17% move to the downside there, and then a 10% move back up. So look, it's going to be violent, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be fun. So that's why I'm here to trade this thing. But I did write down on the sticky note that we'd have to short it up until this 55 area. So that's what we're looking at. If you want to follow, it's at Trader TV Sean. Follow the sticky note. I think that oil being down like this today, with the rhetoric coming from Russia, with it looks like, you know, some of the ceasefire with tech starting to bounce a little bit, I feel like there could be sort of a swap out, right? Into tech, out of oil right now, and that's just what it's going to be. So right there, we initiate the short right now. We'll hit the bang because we're in the trade. No idea where this is going to go, man. The spread is 50 cents right now, 40 cents right now, but we did take that short through 51. The People's Trader is a man of his word. We go short through 51. It's a little bit early for this, but hey, it's a small starter position. We'll start to build this thing. I am offering 52s. We'll see what happens at 52.50 as well. And then honestly, I don't want to hold this all the way to 53. 55. If we break 50, here we go. There we go, Randy. What's up, Randy? Bang, again. There we go, to the downside, a nice little win. See, already, we're already in the money here, 30 cents. Let's see if it continues to the downside now. But it's Oxy, it's the name I want to short, and guess what? We're short.
Yeah, the futures, the oil futures just broke 117, so the morning low just got taken. Just shortly before that, I got into CVX. I've been trading mostly CVX, Chevron. For those of you that don't know, I've been trading mostly that, a little bit of Oxy, but mostly Chevron this last week, and big took oil. And it's going to be the same setup. Like the last thing that could shoot a drop would be, banning imports of Russian crude, and we've been rallying on the expectation that further sanctions would drive it higher, and then you get a pullback. And it's just about this nice consolidation area that you have. And you had a bottom this morning on 163, and that's where it broke out. So when that broke on Chevron, I took it. The top end of that range is 164.5. And as far as I'm concerned, there's room to 160 and then down to 156, especially if we get back down into that 109 to 112 range on crude. So I just chose Chevron. That's the one I've had success with in the last week. So it's a very similar setup on the chart. Two very different names, but you have to be watching oil futures, right? Like if you're checking these out, if we're still holding below, like 118, 119, and this tries to come back up, that can be a reason to maybe add to that position. And I'm not sure you're dead wrong unless 120 gets taken.
Let's go on to the other end of the story here. So lower oil means the possibility for higher travel stocks today. There's a few of note here this morning. Some of the airlines bouncing big time already. Delta up 5% right now, trying to push back towards day or session highs anyways. UAL, AAL, all very, very similar at this point.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm actually watching CCL. Carnival's up 6% and looking rather strong. We talked a little bit about the last couple of days, some of those names. I mean, UAL was down 15% 2 days ago. So you knew with any kind of a bounce it was going to have room to run. But it's CCL that's sort of standing out a little bit for me here. If not just because on the daily, here you are trying to get right back above those December lows. And I just, you got the wipeout bottom there. All the charts are going to look exactly the same. But then you've got this interesting top here at about 1650. So the last 2 days, you've had these lower highs and yesterday's top at 1650. You've managed to clear that. To me, giving you a bit of a base of operations for a long possible trade here in front of 1650. I know it's setting up for a 17 break. A lot of times that's the low-hanging fruit. I just rather be doing a little bit of a dip buy on this. So we've talked about breakouts recently and how those have been going. I've found that breakdowns have been more, obviously, I've been more successful than breakouts in the last few months. So along those lines, I'd much rather be buying the dip. And I just liked this in front of that 1650. So I'm going to be on the bid. If we get any kind of a pullback in the travel names, I'll look to place CCL in front of that 1650 level. I know there were some good levels on specifically UAL as well. As on the flag, wants to load this one up. I didn't get NASDAQ right. There you go. But we're so far away from that 30 support. And this one, again, it's just I like to set up a little bit better for the dip buy on CCL. On UAL, essentially it's setting up for almost like a clean breakout style trade through 34.25 here. Whereas I know the level I'd want to buy in front of in CCL, you'd have to drop $1.50 in UAL before I have a level that I really like. That's why I'm preferring Carnival Cruise.
So I have no idea what just happened, but we just hammered into Microsoft right here. Yeah, we popped it. Let's go, Softy. We just popped it through 283 right now. So Microsoft right now, hopefully with a runner. Let's see what happens. We're pretty long, man. I punched it twice. We like it so much there. So we'll see if we can get something out here on Microsoft. But a nice rip to the upside right here. Let's see. I don't know. Nice little move, the Microsoft and oil. So oil going to the downside right here. We'll see if Softy, what that little pop was all about. But the Microsoft trade is on board right now. This is what we wanted to. If you could show, have you showed the screen yet? No, there it is. Here we go. So there it is. It just punches through 283 right now on Softy. So let's see what the high side brings here on this trade. So Microsoft right now looking like it wants to go a little higher. The NASDAQ starting to take off. What did AMD just do right there? Okay, 109.60. So it tried to pop as well, trying to go through 110. That's the area. And there it is, man. Yes, sir. 50 cents already on Mr. Softy. So, hey, man, we're starting to go already. This day is starting to go. We'll drop down some cash early, but we'll wait to see where it goes from here. I like this little bump up. That's kind of that move. I don't know if it was breaking through the 50 period there on the 1 minute or if we just got news. Aid to Ukraine ready for diplomatic solution. Okay, so maybe there's something here. Maybe they are coming up with something. Look, I said there's a rip your face off rally coming. Is it today? Is it tomorrow? Who knows? But hey, I'm long, and I'm long a name that I like right now in Softy. And so we got a 70-cent winner right now in Microsoft and a 30-cent winner. Going to be a lot more than this, hopefully, on oil. So coming up right now, big time trading happening for your boy.
Coinbase broke the high as well, so it looks like a lot of names starting to go. I just got a 174 print on Coinbase. So, I mean, that's the only thing I saw was that aid to Zelensky news that you mentioned there. I put it in the chat for you guys, but we'll see. Obviously, the market making that run, and then as Arun said, getting to the top or getting close to the top, and there's overhead resistance. So the NASDAQ, again, made a little bit of a turn at 1365, just getting to this level up here. Maybe that's a good sign and just another reason why we get an extended rally. But we've seen this happen before. I want to see us punch through one of those levels on the ES or the NASDAQ. That'd be great.
Hey guys, welcome everyone. Again, we have now 5,000 people watching. And I remind you, please like this video and support the community. And now let's continue with Brandon.
Yeah, let's talk some crypto here. Neil, you're just mentioning Coinbase. That's not the right one. Coinbase back to the upside in a big way, along with anything else related to Bitcoin. Hut with a big move I saw, Mara, all the typical movers. Yeah, I was just still looking at Delta there. Doesn't matter, Randy, you can go off that. But yeah, BTC back to the upside on this note from Janet Yellen yesterday when it comes to Bitcoin.
Yeah, the note, right? Like the note that wasn't supposed to come out, but that does exactly what I'm sure everybody wanted to see, which was gauge everyone's opinion. Which is obviously favorable in this particular vein. Coinbase for me was pretty simple. You get the gap up. I like the 170 for the pullback. It's similar to CCL in that regard, where you have like previous resistance maybe being support. But that's 170. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. It had a tight consolidation break at 174 here that I ended up taking. I got 08, so not a lot of slippage. And I'm just looking right up to these highs, like 179, 180. You get back up to there. You can shoot for 3, 4, maybe even $5. You still have like 2 to 3K before Bitcoin runs into resistance. So I do feel there is room to run on this move. So got the long in Coinbase. I would have preferred the dip buy, but that spike in the futures just now clearly raised a lot of things to the upside. Coinbase, one of them, and ended up being triggered in. Holding around those highs, so really not too bad right now. I'm actually going to get some on the offer just in case, like halfway from that 74 to 79.80. We're going to sit in that 177 range. We get another spike through 75. I want to make sure I'm taking some profit. If there's a spike to be had before 9:30 and there's a chance to take profit somewhere in that upper range, I'm going to go ahead and take it almost every time, just because those pre-market breakouts have had mixed results like the last few months. So making sure you bank profits makes a lot of sense to me.
We're already jamming, guys. I don't know why your CVX isn't going down. I guess hopefully a delayed move there because Oxy did go down. So we did get that 50 cents right there on Oxy. Actually, no, sorry, 40 cents. Took it 57 we got. So out 98, short 98, out 57s there on Oxy. And yeah, this is happening again, man, where we're starting our day off monstrous in the money here on a couple of these names. We did it yesterday with CEI. We did it the day before with Bed Bath & Beyond. So this week so far, we've been up huge in the pre-market, which is not normal for me, but hey, we'll take it as it comes, right? The market's fading back in. We're only out of 30% of this Microsoft. It could come all the way back. Who knows? And here it comes right back in now, right? So need secure. Okay, so now apparently it's coming out that they need a security guarantee. So, okay, as you're going to be able to see now, it's moving around again. Look at the spread on Microsoft. It's $1. So you got $1 spread right now on these stocks. So just be careful with your positions. That's why we took some out. We have no idea where this name's going. But so far, if Ukraine doesn't get the protections they're needed, watch out. We put this on our sticky note here to watch out for this 280 level. If that breaks, we'll get out and then we'll look and reassess down here near 275 or so. But there it is. This is going to fly with with Ukraine news. So a big move up in tech gets us long. We get out 30%. And now let's wait to see where it goes here. Microsoft, again, a mover here in the pre-market. But we still have 15 minutes. Let's just see quickly here on the imbalance locator. It's gold okay? It's Ford, which we haven't looked at in a bit, 16. I almost wrote Ford down today for 16. Well, we will have a look at that. There's there's XOM. I click on it and it disappears. I don't know why that is. Put it over here. There's XOM on the sell side. There's Oxy, which we're already short, but there's the bump back up again on possible issues with the Ukraine. So right now we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait and hold out. Oil bumping up, NASDAQ bumping down. So that's the imbalance locator. Really nothing on there.
Going to be very headline sensitive here, obviously, going forward. They're also saying, guys, they won't give a single inch or won't trade a single inch of territory. So, I mean, that was initial positivity, but I feel like we're right back to basically where we started. We'll see. That's an aide, again, saying all of this to Zelensky. Bumble and Stitch Fix, big reports, opposite directions. Bumble's up huge on a better than expected sign-up number, and Stitch Fix continues to not be able to get out of its own way off this report.
Yeah, and look, obviously, I mean, you'd be surprised that Bumble's P is not, like, it's not like 50 or 80, like it's, I think it was like 12, which is kind of crazy. But if you had only looked at the headlines, you know, the top and bottom, you probably wouldn't have been able to guess that you'd be up 27% on Bumble and down 20% on Stitch Fix. I just don't think that's what you would have seen. But if you did dig into it, it was a pretty solid beat, and they do have some user growth there. I guess there's a bit of a reopen story for Bumble as well, although I keep hearing the people talk about it was a good pandemic play, but the logic to me made sense for the open play. This 2075, we sort of went over that pretty quickly earlier and had that 2075 break, but it was way too early in the pre-market. I don't usually like trading one of these names that I don't trade often. I think I probably traded Bumble one time, taking it in the pre-market on a break I didn't love. I think it gets to 24.25 and it's a fade. I was also sitting there, if 20 was to break down, I think the gap fill was like, I could see it just going a buck almost instantly before falling any further. It does feel like a bit too much. Keep in mind there is a small short interest. I think it's about 6 or 7% short interest. One of the reasons why I think it can have some momentum on that break. But if we don't sustain this move, and one of the things I like to see is if there's a fail break here, fine. If you took the breakout, you've scalped a bit of a winner here, maybe you hold on. But at this point, if it can't hold that breakout price and then starts retesting the lows, if it makes a consolidation in the same pre-market range, cannot get back through the pre-market high at 2075, that's a 20 short. And then you're still back to the notion of, okay, fine, it's up 27%. Yeah, it broke out, but then it's a fail break, and you're looking for that 20 breakdown. It's a lot to digest, but I like to trade specific setups. And a false breakout pre-market, that can be a good one, especially when there's that big of a gap to fill. Just remember, it has that bit of a short interest to it. So Bumble, always have an out when you go short, and then always have a bit of a plan there. If it goes parabolic, 24.25 for sure, I'd be fading.
I haven't looked at Bumble or Stitch Fix.
Just noticing ASTS back to highs here. I sent this out earlier on this morning, and then kind of didn't expect to hear from either of these again today. But ASTS signing this deal with SpaceX. So multi-launch deal for this company with SpaceX guys up 30% here. Decent volume coming back in for this one, back to 9.
What was it, Space?
No, it's I don't know this one. AST Space Mobile. They have a SpaceX deal according to Brennan. But as I pop it up, $10, $10, $10, $10, $10 is going to be the level. I mean, why is it always $10? Is that like a SPAC or something? Well, anyway,
maybe it was.
It might be, but you pull up a daily chart, and sometimes the most obvious number is going to stand out. Previous support, resistance, just above the 200 period as well. Okay, yeah, this thing gets to $10. And for me, when I'm talking about a parabolic fade trade, it's like, is there an obvious bag hold level? Is there a reason to believe it's overextended going into it? Can you structure a trade around it? Like, that's what it's all about, right? So that's the first thing I do if I haven't covered it. Is Brendan gives us the news, and it's a huge benefit to have him out there. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check to see that we have locates on it, rather than just assume by the time it gets to 10, it can be too late, and then you miss the turn. So this one's going to be on my radar. But when I zoomed out, immediately the $10 level stood out, and we're about $1 away from that. So I'm going to check to see how expensive or inexpensive it is for us to short.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at Virgin Galactic. I mean, that was the name that I was thinking about. What? $7. Okay, so obviously this is a little bit of a surprise. This is at or near, this is probably all-time lows here for Virgin Galactic. What a shame this has been for anybody. Oh, well, I mean, no one's investing in this thing thinking they're going to make money, I don't think. So you got to watch out for this. It's kind of like when I buy my Green Bay Packers shareholder thing, and I bought one share, and now I'm a minority shareholder. I feel like if you own space shares, that's kind of what it is. So you could just say that you own something in here. I don't know if this company's ever going to make things work. But again, look at this 50 period, man. It's just been like, this was $60, you know, and now you're $7. Like, and I hate looking at some of these tops because they're not real, but it's just like, even if you take this as like a consolidation area, 30, you're still $7 right now on space. So I don't, you know, it's kind of like I say with the cannabis stocks, although I feel like cannabis at least has a chance to go. This is not an investable name, and nor do I ever think it will be. So let's wait to see what does happen here. Hopefully, if you're invested in this, you don't have too much in it. But, you know, maybe if you break above 11 or so, it's not going to be today, it's not going to be tomorrow. But, you know, there could be something, and maybe a merge or something between a couple of these different companies could help it out. But for me right now, wow, no idea how low Virgin Galactic was there. Yeah, I don't think
their
anyone
technology
would merge.
is vastly different from what other companies do. Like, they're not like a rocket that goes up, so there's no merge possibility.
But they are like a stock that goes.
Oh, like a lot of other ones.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is just a shoot show. What's up, Brendo?
A lot of people asking
$7.
about and talking about these tiny little energy companies that have gone nuts along with this move in oil. So we should touch on some of the small cap oil stocks. There's INDO, there's IMPP. We had CEI Energy yesterday, just insane amounts of volume right across the board for all of these. But most guys back to the downside, of course, with oil.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself over 9 because that's one. Like yesterday, we finally calmed down on 9, and when it stopped halting every 2 seconds at the open, it was a pretty solid. Why is that on Netflix still? That was a pretty solid short. There we go, finally. It was a pretty solid short. I actually had one in the pre-market before it broke down, and I'm like, that's too early. I should let it test back up. I got out, it broke down, I chased it. You can see what happens, it's continuing to, I don't need those orders. You can see it continuing to fall. I just feel like with oil coming back in, at least, and like what everyone's been waiting for happened, then these small cap runners should start to fade. And then any strength that they get is likely to just get people who have been buying them up and sort of maybe you have 2s, 3s, I don't know, maybe you have 4s, 6s you could have here. They're going to start thinking about where they can get out on every single pop. And I look at this and say I want to be fading first in front of that. Now it's going to be 460, obviously. You can look at that shelf there and then play off of that 5 level. I should have had 40 short. There's not much of an excuse for it. There was some chatter in the chart or in the chat talking about, I think it was IMPP, and I said, no, 9's the one I like, but I mean, they're all basically the same kind of thing. So I'm going to lean over to 9 if there's any kind of a pop. If you're watching IMPP, I was also looking at this one as well. I had some levels written down that I like 9 a heck of a lot better, but those are all the way back up to 550. This one I'd be looking at the $5 range. They did have news today, I guess, IMPP specifically, but as you can see, that's not mattering too much as they've been selling off with everything else.
I'm just going to put a little bit of a bid here down on Microsoft, not too much. Okay, but just to let you know, I'm just going to review some of the trades that I'm already in right now. I'm only in 2 of them. One is Microsoft, which is I think is fine. The ask is my price, so I'm not worried about it. The spread is huge. Oxy is a different story. So we've talked about this 53 level. So 52.50 really is the pre-market high here. I'm only going back to 7 o'clock. I mean, this thing has been trading since 4. But you could see here 52.50. I'm going to use that as a level, and then I'm going to use this 53 as my stop. So I'm well aware. I mean, I talked about it moved 20% top to bottom yesterday on Oxy, or this move down there at the end of the day, or sorry, in the middle of the day yesterday. So that's a big move here on Oxy. So well aware that if oil starts to go, we do not want to be caught short in this name. So we are going to use 53 as our out. And then just so you know, 51.90 I'm sitting at for an average rate in here at 52 $52. So we'll see if we get a short now for Oxy, 51.90. And then the other one would be 52.50. We also have a short sell in there too. So we're going to average in at 52, average in at 52.50. We've already taken out a third down here for 45 cents. So far so good on that one. But you do have 53 as an area of concern for me there for Oxy. So that's that. And then we've already gone over Softy. I didn't even realize, I mean, I should have realized it, but was talking. This went down to 282. That's going to be a buy for me if it does that again. Like I said, we're long at 04. The offer is 75, and that's what's printing. So 25 cents out on Microsoft. But I do want to respect this 280. If 280 breaks, I don't have the stop in yet, but that's going to be it. We'll get out because we're not trading like a major amount of shares here. So we'll get out if it breaks 280, and then if it falls back in, then we'll have to reassess because the NASDAQ's up 2.5%, and I hate, there goes. See, now Microsoft's all of a sudden in the money. So, we got to wait to see what happens here. The NASDAQ can give this all back, or it could go up 4% today. So let's wait to see. I'm more on the latter. I think the Microsoft rallies, or the market rally is pretty big today, but hey, I'm always tend to be one of these guys.
Yeah, just quickly here, I want to show crude here because with Oxy and CVX starting to run, we're still around that 117. So real concern comes if you start breaking 19 and 120s to that upside. As a matter of fact, as long as we don't do that at the open, I'm looking for the curl off this 165 level, but I don't want to add until we get closer to the close. You just mentioned Softy. I guess, look, at this point, crypto is a risk asset as well. So when you get a spike in the NASDAQ, man, it's going to mean things like a Coinbase is going to go as well. So I did get the benefit of that just running to the upside. I just took 176 in change out for the first couple of bucks. Remember that range is 74 to 79.80, so halfway was at that 176. We get a spike at the open on a breakout play before the open. I'm going to take it because those breaks haven't been the greatest. So if you can bank some profit, I definitely think it makes some sense to go ahead and do that. But I still look at 179 as the ultimate target. Brendan.
Another one to add to the oil and gas list, small cap Zest is a exploration company. So they were up aftermarket on news of a discovery. So positive anyways. But coming back in with the price for oil here, that was 380. It was a little pivot that just broke down, so I took that. We're already back to 320. If we get back into that 384 area, worth another look for Zest, guys, on the way back down.
So I did the same thing there. Yeah, Zest. We were just saying, isn't that a soap?
It is a soap. The green.
It's green.
I know the
yeah,
one.
It's definitely green. Isn't it the one where they're like, I don't know, is it the one where they're always in the rainforest? No, that's Irish Spring, I guess. Okay, so I did the same thing there, ringing a little bit of a register at 283.50, I think it was.
Oh
Again,
God.
Yeah, another 50 cents there. So our best out on Microsoft is 60, but we just took another 50, and now you're rocking to the upside. But look at the spread, guys. It was $1 there for a second. Now it's starting to get bumped up a little bit. Let's just check out the imbalances before we go here. CCL with a buy. Okay, a little bit of talk there. I like AAL, XOM there. Oxy with a sell. Nothing else that we've really focused on here. The banks buys, you can see BAC, WFC, so on and so forth. So that is the imbalance locator. Okay, now we're already, there it is right now. Spin it, because I feel like this Microsoft trade should be really good, and I don't know why we didn't load that back up here at that 50 period move, or sorry, at VWAP. But VWAP in the pre-market doesn't really mean anything, but again, that 282 was a gift right there for sure. We're huge now, man. I punched this twice right here, so that's double my pre-market default, which isn't huge, but still, I like that so much on that NASDAQ bump up there that we got a little excited and hit it. But there it is now, $1 now in the money for Microsoft, so that's going to be pretty good, hopefully. And then Oxy rate. Okay, there we go. So we just got. I was going to say, are we going to get that short in again? So we just got another piece here. We're going to have to watch out. This is oil right now. Oh yeah, I got to fix that. I'll do that right now. It's starting to rip up a little bit. Rip. I don't know about ripping, but it touched 116 there, 115.50. Now you're back. This is what I mean. Like there's a smooth 2% right there in about 10 minutes. So yeah, this is going to be a violent name, but there's the short in Oxy. Hopefully it comes back in. It's now 51.70. But again, look at the spread. So 51.44, my new price on Oxy. Let's put a bid at 51. Take some out there, but only a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, and just going to quickly come to Lucid. Lucid was the short the afternoon that off this 25.75 multi-day high. It needs to break this price if it's going to go anywhere. I paid for the short in Lucid. I still think it's a fade to that 75. If it can clear this out, there's just so much room to the upside. If this market wants to go, it's a nice little bottom range broken. And finally broken if it gets through 25.75. So I am going to go long in Lucid for the first time in a while if it takes that level out, but you better believe I'll have the short first. I think it's a reversal play. Miss V is going to be on the bell. She has the green. The market's green. Crude still below that 120 mark, which was kind of what I was hoping would be the case. Didn't want it breaking 120 while we're sitting in this one, but I want to wait till the actual open for more liquidity. And it was a good decision to get out of some Coinbase on that break, because as quickly as it's on the NASDAQ, as quickly as it got above that 174 to 76, it's right back at the 74 range. So good job taking some profit when you get the pre-market breakouts. That's just the way this whipsaw market has been treating us. But it is hump day. It is time to drop that bell for the open. It's going to be another wild one here. Miss V, 3, 2, and 1. That's a little better.
All right, we're canceling some of our Oxy trade here. Let's see if it goes back down to the downside right now. It's just moving around. We're going to have to watch out for oil here. The market is now open, so Oxy's not open yet, so we'll change that. There goes Softy trying to go. We have a 284. Where are we trying to get out of here? No, I canceled it. We got to get some offers out here. But Microsoft just, we got that. We got 284.40. Thought so. Ring it down there. $1.50 on Microsoft. Good trade there, but still more to come. Here we go. Palantir to the downside. Microsoft moving around. We want AMD as well if it goes down, and watching AAL, but good trade there so far on Softy.
Oh, I just missed a chance at a reload on Coinbase at 174. It just spiked right back up there. You're going to see it right back at 176. It looks like a couple of bucks in the money. CVX shooting to the downside. I waited for the open to catch the curl, and you're going to see how quickly it just moved down. So I did miss the trade to add to that position. Like we said, oil couldn't break that 119, 120. I should be on the bid in front of 161. I'm just going to make sure I have the right amount of shares there because I never added to the position, so I don't want to sort of bungle that one. But oil coming back in a little bit. You're still in the middle of the range. Let's keep that in mind. And Bumble, young man Bumble. That is approaching that 24 rather quickly. That breakout, like, give me a break. Just remember the short interest on this name. It's going absolutely parabolic, but only about 7%. I said 24, 25 was going to be the level for the first pullback. It got to 23.5 before turning.
Oh, man, I said I liked this AAL break at 50, and it just rips up there right through 50 and continues to go to the upside right now. So AAL, we'll see if we can get some. It's coming back down a little bit here. We'll have to watch out for the NASDAQ. We are waiting to get more long into Microsoft. But again, good outs. Oh, we did get that bid. Okay, this is how wild these markets are going right now. We did get a Microsoft bid down there at 282.15. You can see the NASDAQ is cracking lower. So Microsoft we're actually fine on right now, but the market is coming back in. I don't mind taking some AAL right here, though.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost like that rug pull, a second breakout at the open. I'm still looking at Bumble here, looking like it might take another run at that top. I just felt like this was the name I wanted to be able to fade. But if it's going to run away from me, I got to go over to AMD. That's starting to push to the downside. There was no breakout on AMD. It's actually only coming down. Looking 105. I'll go to the 15-minute chart. 105 was afternoon support before things got absolutely cracked. So that's the first level I'm going to be looking to defend there. And then back over to Lucid, which was the other name that we wanted to fade. It got to 25.53, like 10, 15 cents away from what I wanted off that 25.75. I still like the long breakout if it can do it, but I'm going to be short this name at every possible chance that I can get, and I'll get to a firm in a quick second. Just got to put some orders on Lucid, and this time I'll take some profit on CVX. It keeps bouncing off 161.5, and I'm like 30, 40 cents away. So I'm just going to go up there. Because if we keep doing this range-bound nonsense, I should be reloading at the top. So if it doesn't come quite to your target at the open, you can sometimes take some profit out and then try to get back in at a better price, just on the offer on Lucid. And someone had asked in the chat if I still liked a firm 37. A firm in 37 is still a thing, but just have a look at yesterday afternoon. 36.25. That's a pretty big level as well. 37 is much more significant. I think it's not really breaking out till it's above 37, and this is why we took some CVX out, because as quickly as it comes down, we just spike right back to the upside, so I can get back in at a better price. Like, this volatility is stupid. Like, you've got to be able to sort of play inside of the range. It's great to sit in the short. But if it's just going to give you $2 back and forth, it's got to actually take it, right?
Like, yeah, I was just sitting there and I was like, Oxy was at 51. 10 or something, like literally. And I was like, oh, this is good. And then it just ripped to the upside there with oil not really doing anything. We have, it's going to be hard to see this, but we have oil down here. It's not really doing a whole hell of a lot. I mean, it's still down 5%, but our out is 53. So once it breaks, we're gone on Oxy. So that's where the out is. And I don't know. It's just moving like mad right now. Obviously, some people think that it's a good value down here, which maybe it is. You're still down that 3.5%. If you're a bull on oil, you know, we know how Oxy can move. So we're going to watch out for that 53. It's a good thing we took some profit early on that name, and then we just got to reload and back in again. But very, very violent name right here. And again, another violent name, Microsoft. We got long and then we got out, a bunch of outs up here. So right now we're kind of just cruising, but we are obviously watching out for these markets as they're tipsy-turvy again here today. And this is exactly what we thought would happen, kind of exactly, when the market would be choppy off the open, but we just need to watch it. There we go. Unfortunately, Oxy gets flushed down there through 53. What can we do? We did reverse a small long here, but again, it's just so choppy here. I don't trust Oxy. We'll have to wait for oil to settle down and/or this market.
I can't bring myself, if we don't break the range, and the range on CVX is 165.5, and it's really testing it, but this is what oil looks like. It's easier to do this and bring it over. It's still trading down and testing the bottom, and if it breaks 116.50, I feel like the floodgates could open up on it to the downside. CEI, by the way, bounced off $1 again.
Oh, really?
So it did it yesterday. It's done it again today. Looks like it's turning to the upside, but I still think it falls into that bucket of lower float, smaller energy space names that feel like they're a fade today with what we're seeing overall in crude. I never got into Lucid, unfortunately. This is it. Yeah, it's starting to run away from me now. So obviously, Lucid might not be able to get that short off at 25.50. Not much you can do about it there. And Coinbase looks like it's trying to go up. It got to 178. I'm sitting at 179. That was the target, but unable to catch it. It looks like this is going to be a good trend. But I just got shaken out of CVX, and we're still in the same $1.50 range on oil futures, but these are even more volatile. And I trade CVX because it's been more calm.
Yeah, it's a good trade.
Yeah, but it's like,
I think
it's not calm at the open. It's got a $5 range when crude's doing absolutely nothing. Gonna have to wait maybe 5-10 minutes, jump back into it when things settle down. That's the nature of the game sometimes. You just got to be able to have things settle down off of that open, and then going back over to a firm, which I quickly had glossed over. That's falling like an absolute rock because that's just what it does recently. And it's like, today I'm not in the Affirm short, and I should be in this every single day that it sets up. There's your pop trying to get through the pre-market high, and there's your fade. I don't know how many times that setup has to work. It should just be like automatic. Just put the trade on, and then the day you lose on it, fine. Just accept the fact that it loses. But if it wins like 10 days in a row, what difference does it make, Brennan?
Another one making some moves here, guys. Clover back to the upside. Nice rally yesterday. Got right back to 320, stalling out here a little bit at that. But big volume to the upside for Clover to start.
Yeah, okay, so right now, nothing is working for me, so that's fun. AAL, we did average in. Our average price right now is 44. I liked the 14.50 break. I thought it would start to go there, but obviously AAL does not do that. We wrote down on our sticky note that the support was going to be near 13.60. So honestly, if we break through 14, we're going to be gone, and then we'll look to see if this is, bless you, if this is the right level there on AAL. But we're still long, and we still want to hold this, so I'm fine with it. This is going to be the mistake here. We did reload CVX here, but again, like oil's starting to pop. Or sorry, not CVX, you're CVX.
I know what you mean.
Oxy right here. But you know, if it gets through this 53.50, which is the high of the day, then we're going to get out of this because again, you know, I'm not sitting here trying to hold this all the way back up. So we'll have to find some better levels. But we were short oil, and look, it just didn't work. That's what's going to happen. We hit it yesterday with XOM to the long side. Should have just stuck long oil, man. And yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a hit for us here today. Well, for me, anyways, and I guess for you too.
Oh yeah,
you
for sure.
You had CVX. But here we go. We're short at 53. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to hold out for this one. See if it can go lower. My target is this 53.50, which is the day's high. So if we get a high ticked out, then we get a high ticked out. Unfortunately, we tried to average, well, we did average into Microsoft, but we didn't get our full fill down there, but 281.23. You're now way in the money on that trade, but Microsoft trying to make a move back to the upside. 282.60 is our price. So that's where we're long, and that's where we're at. So maybe another bid down here if it comes back in, but right now our average price 282.60, so not a great one. And then we got our last load here on AAL. We actually got a 10, so let's see where this goes.
Yeah, you're not fully clean until you're zest fully clean. Thank you guys in the chat because it was bugging me, man. I'm like, I know this.
That's
I know
a good one. That's a good one.
And I know it. But the pop and fade is there for zest. Now the floor, I missed the floor on 9 when it broke when it broke on 9, but then 370 on zest, which also broke. It gives you that back at the open. So 370 into 345 and 340. I got bids down at 330. So hopefully I've taken half out already. Well, just under half out. And look, if it breaks the low of the day, I'm thinking $3. 305 was the previous close. That's what I want to shoot for next. And it's just that in Coinbase sentiment at this point because we got out of the oil trade. Oh, this dip buy is a horrible price. Well, I'm sitting at 172, these pre-market levels here, and 173.50 is where the reloads have been on Coinbase. I just got my Lucid short finally, but this trend looks pretty solid. At this point, we're still making solid lows and then testing higher each time on Coinbase. So I feel pretty good about that. As I said, Lucid can possibly break out today if it gets through 25.75. It put a top in at 55 there, now a lower high at 44. So now into the short in Lucid. I mean, obviously, look, it should be a firm that I have. I liked both these names. Like yesterday, you know, a firm was definitely one of the two. I should have had it, but today we were actually able to get Lucid. I'll take some out in front of 25 and then see if we can hold. If it takes out the low and the NASDAQ turns around, it's probably the kind of trade that I want to hold on to for the greater part of the day.
Yeah, and I was just trying to hold on to Softy there. It did go, I mean, we just had a monster winner, man. That went to 283.50, and I was still up here at 283.80 there. So we're going to put an offer right near this 283. There it is. We just took a piece out right there at 280.99, I believe it was. 95, sorry. So there it is. Nice little move to the upside. 50 cents in the money now for our friend Mr. Softy as it's starting to go to the upside one more time. We love this name. It's the only stock that I'm positive on right now, barring AAL making a move. We did average in, again, these were stupid trades, but it did take out 14.50, so that's what we liked. We thought there was a continuation possibility, but it does come back down into 14, and if we just had waited and been a little more patient, then we could be out of all of this for a 20-cent winner, but we didn't. Or sorry, I guess it would be only a 15-cent winner, but we'll wait to see now to the upside AAL if it breaks back down. We did just take some out, some relief out there on this trade, but again, it's looking like it wants to push lower here, man. AAL probably takes down 14, it looks like. That's going to be my out as long as my order's in, which it looks like it is. And then we will wait for this little price down here, 13.60 or so for AAL for a reload. Brendo.
A new mobile-first auto retail online platform. That's a mouthful. For Upstart launched today, guys. So UPST having quite the day here already. Took out day highs. Immediately came right back down, but up 8% for UPST.
Upstart on the move. By the way, I see you guys in the chat talking about Indo. Indo is halted. I see an indicated open of flat, 33.46. It's halted at. It's indicating the open basically right there. But I'm noting it's now been 7 minutes, so it's probably a 10-minute halt that we're looking at in this particular case. So if it's not 5 and it's volatility, then it's 10. That's just sort of how it always ends up working out. Lucid here just got the first target in front of 25. I want to rinse and repeat if I can for this, but as far as the rest of this trade, that's $24. That's a target in front of 24. I think if there's going to be a rug pull in the market and you have a stock at a good resistance level, I'm just going to play the range that worked before. And I get it, sometimes they go further, but that's the way I'll play that setup. I want more shares if I can. It's between 25.30 and 25.40. If we come back up, we can rinse and repeat that action. And Brendan brought a name to us right before, it was right before the open. It was that ASTR, ASTS, I think it was. Looking for that $10 level. It never happened. You can see it just decided to fade right away. So it's on the radar, but obviously $10 was the level I liked. It doesn't even get there. Sometimes they pull the rug a little faster than you think.
Okay, yeah, we are now motoring, to say the least right now. We're going to try to hold on to our Microsoft, but we do want to address our AAL because this is a sweet, sweet trade right now as it comes right back up. We defended that $14 there. We only averaged in once. Maybe we should have done it a little bit more, but whatever. Like I said, hindsight is sometimes 20/20. So we'll wait. We'll just put some offers here in the 1450 area, see if we can take that level out. That's the level that we liked. And why did we like it? I think that wasn't a daily. It must have been a 20-minute chart here. It was right there. These tops right here were 1450. So that was sort of the start of yesterday's move to the down. Sorry, 2 days ago move to the downside. Then we busted up yesterday and stopped at these levels. So we like this one for a long. And there goes AAL, yes sir, with a nice little win on that one. So you guys like the animations. So let's do a chicken dinner winner, as yesterday was Cajun chicken here. We had Philly cheesesteak sandwiches for dinner yesterday. So that was real nice. Philly. What up, Philly? What up, James Harden, Joel Embiid, your Eastern Conference winners,
and you know
I think.
who?
I hope. Meek Mill. What's up, Meek Mill? Okay, Oxy not doing anything. We did go into the money on Oxy down here when we broke through 53, but honestly, this is not going to work. I feel like this is going to go higher. Oil just kind of chilling right now, not doing much, but neither is Oxy. So I know Neil's out of his CVX. I'm kind of stubbornly holding this. I don't know. I don't have too much faith in this.
Be honest, and we're always sort of honest about it, but I came in thinking for sure these other alternative plays would be the shorts, and maybe just going directly to those, because ultimately the better companies maybe have to come a little bit later. It's been whipsaw action, but looking at Indo halt up, that was surprising. I didn't think Indo was going to halt to the upside, so maybe that read was also incorrect, but I'll get back to that when it opens up. Zest comes back in here, hit that one. It just got to that current low at 330. I still think $3 is about that target, so I want to get bid down below that low in front of about 315. 305 was the previous close, so 305 is going to be the ultimate. I am flat if it gets to that price. Checking back in just because I have to, like Affirm, it just gives you that dollar and is now holding off of those lows. Maybe there'll be another spike that we can fade. And the reason why, like, you go to the weaker names, if we're going to make another run, the NASDAQ back at these highs, I feel like fading a weak name off resistance makes more sense than trying to do that with a like a bigger tech name, which I feel you're buying the dip. CCL, rightfully pointed out by many as screaming to the upside. So talked about favoring dip buys instead of breakouts, despite one setting up there in the 15-minute in CCL, and bye-bye Carnival Cruise up 12%, 11.5%, getting ahead of myself there, but it'll go 12. Look how strong it is. Maybe there's a dip to be had off VWAP, which is also pre-market tops. That'll be about 17, 20, 17 and a quarter. That's where I'll be waiting.
Brendan?
Hi. Hudson Technologies. Few people mentioning this one. HDSN ripping right now, guys, through 2-day highs up on better than expected earnings. So relatively small float and small cap here, but just broke 5 there for HDSN.
You can do it from now. All right, we are having some earpiece problems with my man over there, so I can try to handle it, Randy or Lucas, if there is a throw, okay? So let's just do that. All right, there we go, another piece out on Microsoft. Here we go, nice little out there as it was going to the low side right now, and we'll see if it can bump up now. Another reload down here. I mean, look, Microsoft's been a very, very profitable trade for us here today, as it's looking like it wants to keep on going. Next area, I mean, maybe we got to get another piece out up here, but I don't know. I kind of want to hold. Let's put one near 83 there, get that out. Here it comes. We're at 90 right now. We're $1.50 in the money now. AAL, man, wow, this has been a monster trade for me here today. This was light, and then it comes back into the area. It sucks that I take these and then I don't, like, I average in, but it would be a lot more down here if this was like my starter positions. Unfortunately, it's not, but still a nice little runner to the upside right here. The only thing that I've been negative on, I've only traded 3 names today, is going to be Oxy. I am sitting here at 80 now to get something out, at least one piece out. Let me make sure. Yeah, 52.81 right here on Oxy. So we're sitting here. Hopefully it can. Here it comes. Let's go. All you have to do is talk about it maybe, and then we'll see here. You know what I can do? Let's flush Oxy down the toilet, and maybe this will work. There it is. We hit the flush. Let's see if we get our bid now. 52.81 is what we're bidding. Maybe we get a little. There it is. Hey, it worked. The flush worked. As there it comes to the downside right now. Oxy starting to move to the downside. So let's take out some Microsoft. We don't need to be too worried about that right now. We take it out at the 50 period, 74. That's a nice little 70-cent run right there right now for us. So far, so good here, man. AAL, I don't know where we're going on this, but it looks like to the upside. Let's check out PLTR. I was going to go long on this one at 40. Okay, I was going to say at 40 because it's kind of bouncing around. But look at it. This is not a stock that I trade. When it looks like this is Barcode Nation. And, you know, if you scan that with your phone, maybe it'll tell you what to do. But right now, it ain't telling me anything. So that's that trade. AAL rocking, Microsoft rocking, Oxy not.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you at this point. Like, the range in the futures has not been broken, pretty much. It tried to break the low just there. So I got 3 trades on. I dumped the one that's not working, which is kind of the approach that's been working lately. It's like, just get out of the thing that's not making sense, and all the other ones that do, hold on to and manage those positions. You're breaking the bottom on Lucid. It continues to go down. Coinbase feels pretty solidly within a range. Although it's now finding resistance at 178 with these futures coming back in. It might actually make sense to just take 178 instead of waiting for 179. If it can bounce off 175, I'll give it another try to see if we can get back to those highs. And then Zest, I mean, we're almost all out of Zest at this point. The one thing that I am looking at that's relatively weak here, I mean, AMD's up 1.6%, but 107, 3 times it's tested off of this low without the futures breaking down. I've been waiting for 105 on AMD. But if it bounces and consolidates here again, it might be worth a quick little scalp trade off that 107. Jamie, I see you in there. Mullen, it's done 300 million shares. We'll look at Mullen for sure. I missed out on Camber, another inexpensive name that gave you a great fill off of $1. I know Mullen's a little bit further away from that. That's been a good defense for it. But just have a quick look at this 135 level. I only know this because yesterday it had like a wick top getting to just past that, not to 150 though. And that's a hard top at 135. So Mullen needs to break this. It's probably a fade until it does. You're looking for that break. And then there's room. Like if it gets through this and actually doesn't give you one of those fail break wicks, there's room up to 170 for a potential squeeze on this. I usually think these things are done after the first capitulation, but it got back above $1, held $1 again yesterday, and is now trying to make a consolidation break. But they're always a short till they're not for me. And the first level is 135 short. I don't have any offers on it right now because I didn't really see it on the pay for shorts, and it wasn't necessarily at the top of my list. But now that you call it up there, it's on watch. For 35 is your level that has to go if you want some acceleration. Oh my goodness, Zest. Yeah.
It's fully clean.
It's now fully, well, it's kind of dirty actually. They've rug pulled this one. It's now through $3. It's through yesterday's close. I wasn't even sitting on the bid in front there. And now this is the breakout price. This broke out at $3.45 yesterday at this price, which I will gladly take right now. And yeah, bye-bye, Zest. We'll do a backflip for that one. Yeah, you're only fully clean if you take profit. Do not get trapped in these things, man, because you could have had this break, but if you're not executing out in the pre or post market, you're getting burned, man. They're pulling rugs before most people have a chance to execute at the open on a lot of these small cap names if you're taking that long. So I understand people love to play these when you get a nice little consolidation, you're breaking out, maybe you take the long into the close or just before the close or at the close, but you've got to be able to execute out post-market or pre-market when these things start to roll over. Look what happens when it took out that 4, then that 370 shelf. If you can execute those, fine. You've got yourself some cover. Otherwise, it's just so easy to have the rug pulled on you for these names.
Okay, so we are reloaded right now, or sorry, not reloaded. We have a new position. What am I talking about? We took AMD off these bottoms. It's not, this is going to be, we'll take one more at the bottom, and then if it breaks 107, that is that, because we're long AMD, we're long Microsoft, and you know, if the tech fade is here, then that's not something we want to be in. So we'll lick our wounds if it does fade out, but you do have that AMD trade about as clear as day. Did we just get that? No, we did not. We're waiting at 20s, literally. So hopefully that comes in right at that bottom. Oh, as if it goes to 21. We'll see. We'll probably get it anyways. But 107.20 is my next bid on that name. Oxy looks like we'll get taken. There it is. Did we get taken out there? Oh, no, we're a little bit higher. We're basically right here. 53.60, I believe, is the high of the day there on Oxy. So, yeah. So if that takes, there it goes. It's going to go upside right now. Oxy will be out of that soon, I'd imagine, as oil just continues to move up here, as NASDAQ moving down. So right now we're just offside. We have, there it is. We're out of Oxy now. We do have it the other way. way. So we'll hold on to a little bit of Oxy now long, but this has obviously been my frustrating stocks. I already know what we're doing for that segment right here today. So that's my most frustrating stock today is going to be Oxy, as all we were trying to do was go short on oil. We were able to get out a little bit there, took some out at 53 when we realized it was a problem, and then got some out at 52.80, but that was it, man. And now it's just continuing to make a march to the upside. We'll see if we can hold this and make a little bit back, but right now I'm really just concerned about AMD, which is coming down to 107. And again, we're out. Like, this is going to break 107, and we will take it's a 30-cent hit. There it is. Nope, almost. It's a 30-cent hit on this trade. So again, nothing too worried about it, but we don't like when that happens. So taking a hit is never nice. But here it comes. There it is, to the downside. We're just going to get out. Whether or not that's the bottom or not, that's fine. It's the NASDAQ is coming in here, so really not worth holding on to anything. We did write down on our sticky note that we really liked 104 on AMD, which was the bottom there yesterday. But you could see the NASDAQ, I thought it would be a rip kind of a day, and obviously it's a sell kind of a day. So there it goes, man. See you later to AMD. We probably should have looked short, which we can do. We're not. See, this is the thing. I'm a new man. We're not really invested into anything on the long side. We've gotten out of Microsoft. We took our lumps on Oxy, and pretty happy with some of these trades, considering that we were wrong on that tech look. But still, Microsoft's still a very positive. So basically here, AMD, and then the biggest one was Oxy, but we do have Brendo.
Right, back to the downside here for banks as well. We had some initial strength right out of the gate for the banking group as a whole. 10-year back to 192 today, by the way. 134 got tested there on JPM, but straight back down. They all did this all at the same time there with the market, guys.
Yeah, now I'm kicking myself for Coinbase not taking that 177. It just keeps on making this range, and when you try to put that trade on that, okay, you're just playing it off the level. You got you have your support down at 72s. You got your second target. You've already scalped some out. Everything about me says, okay, should just be holding on to it. But look at it just go back and forth. This is a crazy whipsaw action. And now that the market's trending to the downside, it's sort of obvious. Like, it's trying to hold up here, but it might not be able to. And the more frustrating thing is only having the one bigger cap short. I just don't have anything else. I never got into a firm here, so that's going to be a missed opportunity. I think it gave a shot a little bit closer to that 36, but that wasn't even the level that I loved. We talked about CVX being a frustrating name. At least we're able to get away from it. We took some out of that 161, then we stopped out at that 65. So all in all, it could have been a heck of a lot worse, but going back to the well would have stunk. But the well that I should have gone back to is allow it to get to those even dollar numbers, and those would work. So CVX goes to that 170 and pulls back. By that point, it's like, if you don't ever read, go away from it. Stick to what is actually going well for you. One of those that I wanted to look at, and it's not going to be Stitch Fix, but Bumble, that breakout, it got to 24. So 24 to 25 was at that target area. And when I wanted to go into a target area, going to 23.99, it's just not. It's not quite enough, right? So I was looking for one extra push, get some people into that top end of the range on the long side, which is right up here, into this chop, and then you're looking to grab the short. I still have this down there. There you go. So get some people trapped in this area up here, 24 to 25. It touches 99s and then turns around. So it's down $1 at this point. I don't want to chase it. Makes another press up. I am going to fade this name at some point today. I just want it at a better price. I meant to go over DWAC, but it's actually, there was that talk yesterday. Trump hasn't posted on it, and maybe he's upset with what's going on, and yada yada yada. And it had 2 horrible days. Worth noting, it jumped at the open off of that support, went right to $80 on a dime, and then flushed $3. Like, sometimes it's not that complicated, and I took it off my radar when there was no pre-market volume. That was obviously a mistake. I'm going to use that 80 as a level to work off of it if it tries to go again. DWAC, of course, getting that bad news doesn't hurt. The market coming down doesn't hurt at all if you're playing those shorts, but 80, an obvious level here.
Yeah, so far so good. We took a new trade here on SoFi. It came into 78 there. This is the trade that we wanted. We wanted this long off of 60 from yesterday down into here. So we'll wait. We will average into this, obviously, if it comes back in, but we're looking at maybe a 950 or so for a dump. But there's SoFi. We're into this name down here. Came into the 70s like we wanted it. So we're long 79 on SoFi. It's at 87. We'll we'll see here if it can go back up to the upside. And just like Microsoft, man, you got to put on more. There it is. Yes, nice little trade there, 10 cents. You got to put on the right amount of shares. There goes Microsoft. Wow, exploding here. The NASDAQ exploding to the upside. Damn you, AMD, damn you. We got into that one on a 107 break. It's at 108 right now, but that's okay. We held the right names, I feel like, through this move. We did not. I was not paying attention. We should have got the reload on AAL. But right now, Microsoft's $1.40 in the money. This is the name we like. Where's my offer, man? 283.80? A little high. How high did we get there? 283.50. Let's put another offer around that price. See if we can get that, and then we'll let the rest fly to the high side. Cancel our 84. Takes them out at 50. If it comes back up here, Softy, look at those reloads down here in 281.50, so on and so forth. So that's why we're in the money now, $1.30 here on Mr. Softy. And SoFi back up here into the 90s. So this is a good little level for us. And then, wow, we did take out Oxy at 54, so we make 50 cents on that last push back up to the upside. But again, Oxy, the DOA stock for me here today, as this really didn't give us what I was looking for. Maybe that 54 is a top here on Oxy, but I mean, just keep battling this seems to be foolish. But I'm going to take one more short and use 54. I just said it's foolish, and I'm going to take one more short. But maybe we'll battle this with $54. If we can get it around this 53.80, we'll try.
Yeah, it's a battle today, but we'll do this one for the roller coaster ride that it has been. It's all riding that. We need to add Pratt to that, Trader Pratt to that one for sure.
No, I don't want him on the roller coaster.
You don't want him on the roller coaster?
Nah. He might
I wonder if he's ever been on
something.
I wonder if he's been on a roller coaster.
What?
His life experience, it's like, you know what?
Is limited.
We talk about all the time. I'm just not even sure if he's been. We should go to Wonderland with the kid. I'm sure he'd have fun. Coinbase, I just took the 177. Maybe it goes here. But we're retesting these highs with the market feeling like it's not trying to break back out. And it's giving you that 74 multiple times. And if it's only going to be that $3, then that's fine. We'll just take it and run and be up on the name, move on to the next. So holding Lucid short because it does feel like after that push up, if we break 13.5, there's still some room to go. Like Lucid is relatively weak, and that's what I like. The market's trying to go again. You have Lucid still grinding off of the bottom. Any kind of reversal, you're breaking that floor and heading to 24. That's what I want to look for something that I'm holding on to. Bumble was the other name that I'm looking to get into. Just looking for a pop off 23 so I can fade it. I like 24 to 25, but at this point, 24 is your hard top, much like DWAC has that hard $80 top. And then just to go back to another name from the, I guess, the Ether or whatever, that INDO. It was a little bit surprising to me that it halted up. It got all the way to 38, flushed to 33, back up to 39. So this one is going absolutely crazy. This is the most calm it's been since the open. It's starting to settle down a little bit off that 40 level. But worth noting, just go back to the afternoon. Why did it turn at 39.40? This is 39.40 before it flushed right into the close. So I think there's an obvious resistance channel between 39 to 41, 40 in the middle, let's call it. It's got to break that if it's going to go again. I get it. It's up 18%. You saw that monster bounce. But in context, it is still more than cut in half from those highs. So the fade in these low float energy names still, to me, is on, even with this trying to break out. That's not successful unless it's getting through that 40. At which point, if it does, I'm definitely going to be looking at 50. I'll pay for shorts if it gets over 40, and then I'll be looking at the 50 level for INDO.
Okay, so just new position alert right now. We are into AMD. I don't know where this thing's going to go. I hope it's going to go up because we are long now AMD off of some of these breaks. That was an accident there. We put an offer there at VWAP, but there goes AMD. Look at Softy, man. $2.50 now in the money. AMD 40 cents in the money. Happening now with Brendo. Let's go. SoFi rocking everything. Let's go.
Hey guys, there was a JOLTS job number that just came out, a little bit better than expected, so watch the market there. That's job listings, so job listings for January, just out there at 10 o'clock. Here we go, nice positive numbers. Good to see, it's been a while, 1.8, 1.9, 2.25 for the NASDAQ. Right across the entire board, you can see Bitcoin now 9.5%, 6.8 for Ethereum. Biden did come out with that executive order on digital currencies, guys, so a note on that. But the market actually rallied, cryptocurrencies that is, rallied on that. American Airlines back to the upside today. Bumble off earnings with Coinbase on watch as well. Pretty good move off the open, right back to highs now for Coin, guys. Back to you.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, Coin, that's the one that worked fine overall. I mean, Coin and Zest both work. I mean, the long that works fine is going to be that Coinbase. Speaking of Bumble, I just got my first fill in Bumble. It tracked back through that 23. It makes a bit of a right-hand turn, or at least attempting to make a right-hand turn at 23.5, right in the middle of the range. With the market booming back out here, any slowdown off of those highs makes sense. I just feel when something's high-flying like this and the value is maybe not the right word, but the rest of the market starts to go, you can start to see some selling on those high flyers to get into the index if it tries to break out. I'm going to get a bid down in front of 23. Otherwise, I'm looking for this to possibly retrace all the way down into 22. It feels like the market, after holding 13.5, you're making another run at the top. We have yet to break out the range in either direction. That's worth keeping in mind on the NASDAQ. Like, you're still in the middle of this range.
Nasty little rally here. Ooh, this is nice. Up nice little high here for AMD. Look at that. We just took this trade. That's $1.30 now in the money on AMD. We were nervous about Softy. $3 in the money right now for Softy, as we'll do a little floss action right here. Look what we're long, man. AAL, 50 cents in the money. AMD, $1.50 in the money. Microsoft, $3 in the money. And how about your boy on SoFi? Money. Right there, up to 99s, $10. Look at this bottom we have on SoFi here again. Oops, we did it again, SoFi. Boom to the upside. We did this yesterday, and we're doing it again. Shout out to Brittany on that one. She is now free. Free Brittany to the upside there. All right, I don't know. Nothing really to do. I'm just going to try to let this rally here happen if it can. We're almost out. So we're out of half of SoFi, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We'll try to hold the rest, but this is a monster move up, man. We could take a piece out here on Softy. This was the high that we've already had. Like Neil said, the futures are still pretty choppy. It's a nice move up, but we just hit the high and then faded back in, right? That's why we're emptying out. Like on AMD, we only have about 30% left when it's at highs right now. I actually put an offer, I don't know where it went there, into these levels. So AMD, wow, a monster move up right now. So the only thing, again, this would be such a monster day if we didn't have that stupid Oxy. But here we go to the upside. Well, let's just offer out right now something on AMD, see if we get this. This is pretty high up, man, 43s. So there it is. We're sitting at 43. Maybe we get hit there for $1.50 here. There it is. Though that was Oxy just got taken out, so that's fine. Give me that at we missed that AMD trade. So here we go, bouncing around here on AMD. Let's see if we can take $1.40 on this trade. It's a big one, guys. Just holding Microsoft. Just wish we never looked at that Oxy, that's all.
Yeah, and just got into a firm. I said if a firm came back to the top, I'd take the shot at it. Every now and then the market gives you a second opportunity at a level. Usually not as good as the first, but I'll take the short on a firm when it sets up. So in front of that 36 quarters, yesterday's high. So we'll give it some room. If it tries to take out that high of the day, then we'll just have to. I might average into it if it makes a fail break at 36. Otherwise, I'm holding to 36.25. And by fail break, I mean break 36 even, people go long on a break or have their stops trigger, and then it can't get to that quarter mark, flushes back down, and then I take more shares short below that 36. That's just a setup that I happen to prefer on this name. Stitch Fix is one that, look, it was down 20-something%. It's actually been bouncing. To me, this $10 level, it got to $9.70, it looks like here, but that $10 level does set up. That was the shelf before, and then aftermarket, of course, they got absolutely crushed. If it gets up to that price, I think it can be faded. Didn't think there was much of a chance that it would get there, but this market rally seems to be dragging Stitch Fix up, and if it can get to 10, I'll definitely be involved in that name. I talked about Indo a little bit there. That did briefly look like it was making a run back at those highs, now starting to pull back in. I got the shorts on. Unless we break the range in the top, I feel like the names that are weak, I want to be shorting off these highs. I missed out on a reload on Coinbase when it gave you those longs off of that 13.5 on NASDAQ. Now it's broken out. I elected to take it out thinking the ranges weren't getting broken today, and instead it decides to break out right when you make that decision to give it up. But hey, no one ever went broke taking profit.
Ms. V, what up?
Hey guys, markets are going higher, so please let's bring likes number to the upside also. It's a positive day so far, so please be positive also. Help us to get 2K likes today. Smash the like button. Back to you guys.
Yeah, make sure you definitely smash that like button. Thank you, Miss V. What a great day this has been, man. SoFi, good outs here at 10. We still have 50% of this, so I just want to call it to everyone's attention. I'm going to take a piece out again here. If we can get some 98s, we'll do that. Microsoft has faded back a little bit. It did go up to 284.50. We're light on this trade, man. We have, like, honestly, about 20% left of this last reload there. So we've been hitting this all the day. Oh, and I want to give a big shout out to Dinesh here because, you know, and where is it here? He said that he's been making money. Here he goes. Dinesh, he's rinsing in. Let's go to AAL because that's what we're talking about. He's been rinsing and repeating AAL between 14 and 14.50. And then I was like, great trade, Dinesh. And then he said, thank you, sir. Only executing what you are calling. I mean, look, you're the one. I call lots of trades, and I'm glad you're looking at this sticky note, and I'm glad you're taking the trades I'm in. I mean, that means a lot, and we're just trying to learn off of each other. So, Dinesh, that's great. Just watch out. I am still only bidding down here. So hopefully, and I just did it again. I just got out some there at 40. So it's been a good trade, but remember, you know, make sure you're watching everything here as we go in the market. So, all right, that's that. SoFi, we just took that out again as it's coming back in. I still want to short Oxy, man, but, and I can make this back. Now it's coming back in. It's like every time I think there's a high here, but you know what? That 54.50 might have been something right there off of this level. What is that? Yesterday's barcoding at the end of the day. Yeah, so right into here, 54.30 there. We probably should have looked at that a little bit closer, but we were just using 54 as our out. But again, we were just short right here. That last hit wasn't that bad on Oxy. What does XOM maybe look like? Yeah, not much there. I know Neil had CVX. Before.
I don't like them. I'm trying to jump away from it. Anytime like my initial read ends up being wrong, I just feel, okay, let it start to make a little bit more sense because we're still below 120 on oil, back at the 117 mark. And this is what I meant. Like the entire time that we're in that oil trade, on my 5-minute, you were in this range. You were not breaking the high on crude oil futures. Meanwhile, you were just breaking back out. And it felt so many times like it was going to flush, and talking Chevron. And then we kept going higher. So when I see that disconnect, I disconnect from the stock. It's going to be as simple as that. So right now it's my loser of the day, but you know I don't want to jump back to the well until it starts making a little bit more sense based on the price action. I'm going to go back over to for a quick second. Bumble, like another 15 cents, and I can get my first out on Bumble. But Lucid hasn't given any opportunity. Like this is how weak Lucid's been. The market went back to those highs in the NASDAQ, and Lucid couldn't break its pre-market top. So this one feels like it's going to absolutely flush at some point. AMD, which I know you're in, Sean, 110 double top here is yesterday's high. Actually, you almost call it a triple top, going back 3 days at 110, trying to break through. But look at this. You get higher lows for the last couple of sessions, including this bottom. You'd love to see the NASDAQ breaking out while this happens, but that AMD, yeah, it's up $3 or $4. But look at that setup for a potential late-day break. And then there's room to 113 to 115. The sneaky slide play would be allow 110 to break. The market hasn't gone. Maybe it's a bit of a failed break, and you slip back in at like 108 for a dip buy, maybe down around VWAP, and then you're playing the breakout with a better price. I feel like that's the way I want to play it because breakouts have stunk.
Brendo.
Another one that reported, guys, Oatly. The Oprah, and I think there's many other celebrities behind this, but that company reported better than expected, surprising. They got flush, though, at the open, but coming back up here, more volume to the upside for OTLY.
Get that. What's it? What kind of milk is it? Shoot. Now I already forget. Oatly does...
Oat milk.
Oh.
Yep, oat milk. Okay.
More coffee is what I need. Anyway.
Yeah. Valeria, get the man a coffee. Valeria,
no. I was actually hitting that key before you even said it. For the
last time I spilt when I did that. Valeria warned me that the coffee we had, the machine was acting up, but I'll just report.
Is it really?
It was good. It was good. It was fine.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I did get the first fill on Bumble. I'm looking to reload this closer to 34 if I can. But if this shelf goes on 22.80, I'm thinking $22 on the last of the Bumble trade. So I think there's a lot of room for this for the fall to the downside. I'm not gonna live that one down. Like Oatly oat milk. Like it's sort of obvious, but you're juggling many things here. And at the same time, I was like, I want to talk about Bumble and the levels while you're going over that and thinking out loud. It's gonna happen to you. I'm going back to Coinbase for you guys. It got to 179, which was our target. So if I stick to my guns at the open, it does make that secondary push to 179 in reverse. So I don't necessarily see a trade unless we're back at that 180 level, or we can play off 172 to 174. But it did get to 179 in reverse. If you're holding on to that long, congratulations. Sometimes you just got to stick to the read when it works for you.
Boom.
I forgot all about Shopify 500. Worth noting, it bounced yesterday off of just around about 500 on a bit of a run. The NASDAQ's going up. That's all the story is going to be. But watch out for this thing. I remember this shelf, 575. And looking at New York prices here, or U.S. prices, 575 to 580 on Shopify. It's not really a double top, but it's kind of yesterday's high. Well, and then you go back into previous day, that's going to be Monday, midday, 575, 580 was resistance on Shopify. It's been a better trading vehicle than I'm giving it credit for the last couple of sessions.
There it is, AMD, man. I feel like this could easily be trade of the day again because I learned a lot from this trade, and that is that give up the ghost here and lose 40 cents on this 107. Like before, guys, I would have like averaged in all the way. I mean, it didn't come down, which is fine, but that's the point is wait for the market to start to pop up, and then there's that 40-cent hit. This is why I think it's a great trade here, and we could do this. A nice move to the downside, average. It breaks that 107 that we were concerned about when the market was not going our way, and then bang, hit the VWAP, hit the 50 period to the upside, and then now look what's up all the way here. So beautiful trade here on AMD. Now $1.90 in the money on that off of a 40-cent loser, and this was double the shares, if not more, because we like it nice. It's hit twice, so that's a nice little move there. And then by the way, you know, this is going to be revenge here a little bit on Oxy, but still not great. We take the long. Where's my minute chart? Oh, yeah, there it is. We take the long there and get out. Then we go short and get out. So that's, you know, loser there. Well, I mean, that's a winner, but a loser overall. And then there's the short here again. We finally wait for it to break out to the downside. We should have messed around with it up here again, but we didn't. And now it's a short, and we just took 30 cents. And now we'll wait to see if it comes back in. Sorry, where am I short? 44s. We took 25 cents. And now we'll see if it comes at this 50 period right there. And now we'll see if it breaks through 53 and then back to the downside. Still going to use some outs here. I mean, we're not going to hold this all the way back up, but we do have another target because we did zoom back out again and notice that we did have this 53.50 area. That was more of a concern for me. So right there, 54, it's basically 54.30 to the nose. That's where the high was, and that's where the bottom was on that barcoding rate before the end of the day. So, you know, sometimes you got to sort of look for these plays and see if they come through, but that's what that is. SoFi, we did get some more out here as we approach VWAP. So now we only have 30% left. SoFi was a great trade. AMD, we took another piece out right here. And we only have now 10%, now 15% left on that one. And in Mr. Softy, we're just letting to see what happens here. But so far, so good. Brendan, another one?
Canoe Health, guys, making a big move here today. I saw a few people talking about this one. Third Point announcing a stake in this one as well. So CANO straight to the upside so far. They're on the insurance side, I believe, similar to Clover. CANO with a nice day so far.
Yeah, definitely worth looking like the insurance business myself. I got back into Bumble, and Dinesh asked a good question, so I'm going to sort of address it here. I talked about 24 to 25 being the channel I like for the stock. It turned at 24. So when I take this short off of that turn and get the reload here, the stop's at 24 even. If it breaks into that channel, I'll short it off 25. Like that 25 area, 24.5 to 25, I'll make that play, but that's a separate play. You're not making money just averaging this one into 25 because it's got support down here at 23 that it's already established. So risk to reward does not work for me, sort of just holding on to this and then shorting it again $1 higher. I'll get out, and then if I like it again, take a separate trade. Like treat these things as separate sometimes. Just go back and forth off the different levels if you can find multiple levels. If you can't, then you just walk away from the trade. Affirm hasn't even given me one out down around VWAP here. I just got in the one time. It held 36. I'm now looking to take some out around that mid. And now that it's starting to churn back in, like it's this market, it just wants to be range bound off here. And if it's going to do that, then just play your setups, take your profit where you can. Looking at AMD, we looked at multi-day resistance at 110. What does it do? It runs away from that level, and now suddenly it's going to give you a dip buy at what price? You know, that 108 price we just talked about, like a sly way to be able to play that is just wait around for it to pull back off of that level or pull a failed break and then buy it in front of that 108, which was, you know, resistance turns into support, VWAP as well in front of 108. So I'm going to slip in here. And instead of taking 110, you're taking a 108 change buy on AMD.
Yeah, so there it is. So we got out of some AMD there on the way down. That was a nice move down. That's why, like on the way up, it's like cash, and then get out. I mean, it's still $1 or more than that for a victory there on AMD. But we'll wait to see. We are now light. We now have like that 7% left or so of our trade. And then look at SoFi, man, giving us a reload opportunity again. But this market just got cracked down lower here. So I don't really know what to think about it. But it is a move down. I don't really see any news for this move. So if Brendan finds something, obviously he will come and ring our bells, I guess, for that news. So we'll see if that comes through. I am here for a reload on this name, but actually I don't even have a bid down here. So we'll put a bid down the same area around 80, which is basically where we're at. And that's why we only have 70% left. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we only, 30% left. 70 out, 30 in left here on SoFi with possibly a reload potential here. We canceled all of our offers. So we did get out some of Softy right there. Now we're starting to bounce back up. So here we go, back up to the upside. We like this right now. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, there's not much, guys. Draghi saying Russia's sanctions will last long and must be sustainable. So that's kind of contradicting a little bit of what we heard yesterday from both the UK and the US in the sense that some of the oil-specific sanctions were going to be temporary. So, yeah, back and forth we go, but nothing major at this point.
Sweetness, and we'll hit the power up there for AMD, so it makes that pullback off of 118. We talked about going back in front of that 108. We just got some long. 1-to-1 from where I got it, 108.5 is about 109 and change. So that risk to reward, so I do always take some out there. If it can break that 110, like the key here for me is now, looking at these NASDAQ futures, can we break out the top? Like AMD's got room to the top when the futures were at the top. So if the futures break out, you're holding your AMD through the 110 break, and hopefully, if we pull back, there's still enough room for this to go up, give you an out in front of 110, or give me an out in front of 110, and then I'm taking a $1.50 after the futures are reversed. The fact that we're at the highs now gives you an advantage being in this name, because if we break out, get to 13.7, you're holding on to this. We showed that 15-minute chart. There's room to 113, 114, maybe even 115 on AMD if it wants to go. Don't think in this market, just because you've seen a $4 range on this and it's up 3.5%, which is a good return for a stock like AMD, that's not what volatility is at in this market. It's bigger. Like the stock can go a heck of a lot more than that. So you never want to shortchange it. Somehow the only short that's like, okay, like you want to tell me like Lucid is looking fine here, and it's a firm which retests the top. But it did that 36 break, didn't get to those quarters. Now it's testing below that 36 level. So I said my plan of action would be I'm going to have to adjust my stop, so I should cancel these orders. If we can hold below 36, I want to get back into some shares. It just missed me at VWAP here. We're just trying to get I want the offer below 36. Right now the spread's 97/03. That's not a failed break. The offer, people selling below that 36 level, that's going to get me some more shares in. 36.25 will still be the stop on the Affirm short, but for now, it looks like it's trying to put in a fail break.
All right. Yeah, so right now we just took out some Oxy again down here at 53 flat. So if that's another 40% or 40 cents win, 44 cents or so. Actually, we got it out at 04. So it's exactly a 40-cent win right there for us on Oxy. So far, so good on that one. We missed the reload on SoFi. That would have been a good trade. We are actually at the exact same price. We were at 78. I bumped it to 80. I don't know. It looks like we printed 80, 81 before on that one. I know we're getting ready to go to Ms. V in a second. So if we can do that, we have a super chat for you as well. AMD, yeah, we got out a little bit there on that dip down. We're going to reload AMD if it does come back in. But for now, man, we're just going to hold on to this one. Let's go to Ms. V. What up?
Hey Sean, we've got a super chat from Krishna Himiri for you, saying Sean Oxy, more than 100 trades, all short. Remember, your morning thoughts are more than 80% right. Thank you, my trade guru. Guys, thank you so much for super chats. Thank you, Krishna. And again, don't forget to follow Sean on Twitter, to follow up with his sticky note, like it, retweet it. And if you find this helpful, smash the like on the show also. And now let's go to Brandon.
Hey guys, yeah, small caps back in action as of yesterday officially. So a number to look at today. This was actually not, surprisingly, energy related, separate company altogether. IPO'd in February, so recent addition here. It's done nothing but go from $4.50 to $1. and then bouncing today. So back into 240, 260 was the pre-market range. There wasn't much to work with on the daily chart because it hasn't been around long. So nice flush off the open, but we're getting back into that range again from the pre-market. So volume kind of dying off, but the initial trade was a decent one. For DRCT, IMPP, one of those from yesterday. I just took that test of this level from the afternoon for a quick trade, but got out of that. So, it just seems like these oil stocks only want to go up today. Zest, we talked about pre-market, didn't last long. Unfortunately, I ran out of bullets to fire on that one. We do get back down into yesterday's range for Zest, guys. Back over to you.
So, I saw people talking about Tesla, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did forget a little bit about 850 and Tesla, but this is basically the same setup that AMD put on. And we got the dip buy in AMD, but it's sort of the same thing. It tries to break that 850, pulls a failed break, pulls back into VWAP, and then makes a secondary push through when the markets are trying to go. So if you got it, it's more or less the same thing we were talking about there, and then room to the upside. Now the difference, I would say, is AMD, relatively speaking, has more room to the next level. Tesla from this 850 gives you like 865. 15 bucks is great, but that's not as good of a return as AMD giving you the 8 to 10 range and then having room to 113. So that's my preference on AMD there relative to Tesla, but it's basically the same setup. Tesla just has a little bit more overhead resistance and that's closer to these levels. The market is still trying to break. The NASDAQ hasn't really gone through that top just yet, but it does feel like it has an absolute chance. The only short I got left on, we took profit on both Bumble and then Affirm, and both of them broke out the top. So they'll be both mixed trades, but it's Lucid hanging on to its relative weakness. Maybe it's a Lucid thing, but either way, I just showed you Tesla breaking the top and the market trying to take the top. This thing cannot get too far off of this 25 level, so it looks like that's the short that we'll be in while holding on to this AMD long as well. If you're still looking at some of those high-flying, energy names, INDO keeps trying to get to that 40 channel. It never really gets there, but it is still grinding higher. This looks like it has a chance. Keeps making higher lows. If it makes that breakout, if it's above 40, 50 is the obvious level. I think there's a good chance if we break out that we'll actually see a chance if it goes parabolic to short that. But I'm not paying for shorts until it does. And then the one that we did have in the energy space, CVX, I know you were talking about oil a little bit there, Sean. It's trying to come back in here, but as far as I'm concerned, you're at the same levels that you were all morning long on oil futures trying to break this 117. If this gets taken to the downside, then I think there's something there. Otherwise, we're just barcoding on a dollar range on crude oil futures when it's been going absolutely ham. I think it's got more to run than just that. It would make no sense to me if we're barcoding a dollar range for very long, and I'm not going to make a trade until this is breaking out and picks a direction.
All right. Yeah, crude oil is not, we're short. We're nicely in the money now on crude. And again, thank you, Krishna. 80% right on the sticky note calls. Okay. I haven't done that much math on that, but I'll take it. I'll take 80p. That's a good one. Thank you so much, Krishna, for that love. It definitely means a lot. Okay. So yesterday, if you guys watched in the after show, I said, the thing to do would be to put some money into SOC L right now. And that is the semis bull. And you can see today up 10%. So congratulations. Anybody has that one, and you feel like a lottery today if you had that. So that's a good call there. And I still think there's a hell of a lot more room to run on this one. Like I said, I think next week's going to be monstrous. I believe that we have a nice bull case coming here for the Fed, which is on the 14th and 15th of next week. So if you're in this name, congratulations. 10% in one day. Hey, man, can't give those picks every day, but yesterday there was one there. All right, 57 cents to the downside right now goes Oxy. And I think this is what you were talking about with Krishna. You've made over 100 trades short this name today. And I don't know. If you're short, I don't know what you're doing, how you're making money. But if you took this high side, then that's fantastic. We're making money back, but we are going to be red on this name. It's too bad I didn't see that level there, because then I wouldn't have got out and we could be green on this. But that last out right there, we just should have held that, and then it would be a completely different story. We'd be 80 cents in the money instead of the other way around. What's up, Henry? There we go, Henry. Thank you for the super chat. Bang for you right there. Shout out to Henry. Thank you so much for that 420 super chat. We'll take it all day, every day. Valeria can buy one of her. Well, actually, we'll go back to Valeria. Let's go back to Valeria in a second, because I want to hear what her order is again there on Starbucks. Okay, so Oxy to the downside. Microsoft is still $3 in the money. AAL right now, it's just hovering. I want it to do something. Maybe we can get a 14 bid. That's where we're bidding. And on that note, she's ready already. Valeria, what exactly do you order from Starbucks?
Okay, Sean, my Starbucks to-go drink is Grande Blonde Roast Coffee in a venti cup with 2 pumps of hazelnut, 2 pumps of caramel, 1 raw sugar, cream on top. A lot of sugar. Yeah, sorry.
Oh my God.
Back
You need to buy futures, man. Like
I'm going long like cane sugar futures or
Seriously,
something like right now. Like that is quite the order. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't even really hear it all, but I just got carried away there on the double pump of this, the hazelnut.
Honestly,
look, I got hazelnut coffee right up in here.
I just got a cavity from that, but anyway.
Shout out to OTCX.
I can smell it every day, that hazelnut. And it smells delicious.
It's Tim Hortons hazelnut.
We don't have any flavored coffee here, which I'm a huge fan of. On the weekends, it's all about the flavored coffee. Brendan, it doesn't give you cancer. Brendan, I don't care what you say.
Well, obviously it doesn't.
Everything gives you cancer, apparently. Like one time, I was like, oh, I love flavored coffee. And Brendan was like, by the way, possibly could give you cancer. I'm like, well, I'm drinking it on the weekends anyways. MARPS, M-A-R-P-S, another halt. A lot of these names are, look, it's just a halt fest in a lot of them. But it is down from $30 yesterday, so I know it's up at $17.50, but let's put things into context. I'm watching $19 on a reopen, but it's indicating a flat open. This feels like it's been the case the last little bit, that these parabolic movers, they're basically opening flat when they halt to the upside. Like there's no one chasing these higher, which is a bit of a sign, right? Like I think when it goes into that rug pull, then sometimes it actually opens flat, tests higher. I'm looking at $20 here. If it gets to 20 and shows any sign of a turn, I think these things are in that fade territory that you want to be playing the other side. So I'm going to take a shot at this one. It's the first. Give me a break. Get to 20. That's what I'm looking for. And like immediately when it looks like it's going to go, there's that rug pull. This is why no one's chasing these to the upside quite as much. I'll be patient. I want the risk reward that I want, not what it wants to do. But AMD, with the market still trying to test those highs, you're still in that nice little consolidation. So if the NASDAQ takes out the top, my target's in front of that 113 area. My order's out there just in case we get some crazy runs, but I want to have that reference out. So all good with the AMD trade, but I don't want this taking a 108 bottom, holding that long, and then working, of course, in the Lucid short. Going back over to, yeah, I know, I see people talking about Coinbase. Yeah, it's through 180. Like the long on it today, it could have given you 179, which is my target. Now it's still going to the upside. The only thing that I'll throw some caution, we haven't really broken any further than 42 on Bitcoin. So I do feel at some point this might start to come back in. On its own, there's room to 185. You can see, and that's what was appealing about this breakout, was there was just room to the upside. I kind of thought it would stall out 178, 179 here. Next level up is 185. But if it gets to 185 or anywhere close to 185 and we're still at 42,000, that's a short in my book. So I'm now watching Coinbase for the other direction if it makes another leg up, and we're still sitting at the same price in BTC.
I'm just going to go long the market right now. We're above the 50 period. I can't really find anything. There goes the market right now. We just took this Qs trade on at 38. It just went to the high again at what, 70 there. Instantly, that high is 78 on the trip Qs. So we'll see. And now it's starting to come back in. This is just a starter position. I want to see what it does here at this 50 period, which is 3316. So it's coming back in. So we'll put an offer on this. Oil's starting to make a move back up to the upside, so that's a good thing we did cash out there. Oh, I did want to show you, so first of all, Q's new position, we just took some out on AAL. Is that starting to rip? What's up to Dinesh again? Hopefully you're still long in that. Do not short this name, I don't think, today anyways. But here we go, crude. Oh, that's why it was crude oil just came out. So we'll have to watch out for that. I'm assuming that's what Brendan has.
We're going to get to crude here, guys, but we're going to check on Europe first. We have Etienne Marco from MarketScreener.com to give us an update on how things over in Europe are doing today.
Hey guys, well, this morning when we arrived at the office, we each tried to explain why the market was opening that high. It's like plus 5.9% now. Well, there is one news. Ukraine aid said the country was ready to talk about neutrality and European indexes shoot up. It seems that the market wants to believe this is just a matter of weeks before everything settles. The thing is, this is likely going to change the way the world trades forever, or at least for a while. And I'm not talking only about like trades and deals with Russia, but even between countries that have been working together for so long. And if the past 3 years have proven anything, it's the vulnerability of Europe that has relied too long on the memory of its world domination. The continent is dependent on so many other countries in many sectors like health, industries, electronics, and some interesting initiatives have been launched following the pandemic when Europe realized how bad some supply chain disruptions can take on economy, but those initiatives have yet to materialize. And now Europe is actually talking about a huge emergency fundraising through a bond program that is supposed to help financing defense investments and allow Europe to diversify its energy sources. And actually, Europe is willing to cut Russian gas import by 2/3 this year and is already intensifying talks with main gas producers like Norway, US, and Qatar, for example, to get rid of Russia. This is also the reason why we are now witnessing some really weird correlations between sectors that are usually not correlated at all, like energy, green energy and defense, for example. And tomorrow going to be a really important day for European markets, of course. In the morning, European leaders meet in Versailles to try to structure themselves against the Russian threat. And there is some European central banks press conference during the afternoon as well. So it's going to be a really volatile day on European markets tomorrow. And at Market Screener, we truly believe that the market is now underestimating the impact of supply chain and energy prices, the impact that those factors can have on some companies' results. And we are still trying to find some short-term or mid-term opportunities that can benefit from the emergency bond plan that I just talked about.
Great stuff. Etienne Monco, senior analyst over at marketscreener.com with a look at European markets. We appreciate your time.
Thank you,
bigger, guys. Drawdown than expected there. 1.8 versus 1.2 for crude oil. So here we go again. It did spike there, but right back down.
Okay, well, we are... We'll see if it's going to work. We are now reloaded, and it's a nice little 20 cents in the money. We reloaded this at 80 up here on crude. Well, it was just at 50. It was 30 cents now in the money. Oh, that's funny. My kid is in the quarterfinals, and look, he's facing the quarter pounders in hockey. A great name. That's so funny, man. I don't know if they're sponsored by
Of course
McDonald's.
they are.
Yeah, I guess so.
If they're not, then they're...
That's funny.
Come on, you got to be. You got to be.
I just funny because they're in the quarterfinals against the quarter pounders. I don't know. Maybe that's something up with that. Or my wife wrote it in wrong. I don't know. Okay, so not much to do. We are reloaded against oil here. I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to work. Brendan just brought that to us there. Thank you to Etienne there for the Europe talk. I mean, we don't talk about that market enough, and I know we do have some European viewers. So thank you so much, Etienne, for that one. Okay, so this is oil. You know, until it... Look, I already have my level on Oxy, but wow, look at this, man. Microsoft's now $4 in the money. Are you kidding me right now? But right there, 118, 119 there on oil, the area of concern. We did go long the triple Qs, remember. We didn't get that reload, or we didn't get a double in down there, average in down at the bottom. It didn't quite go as far as we needed it to. But now the Qs are starting to go back up to the upside. So we'll see if our call on these futures are going to be right. I'm waiting at the high of the day. So, well, I mean, actually, yeah, the high of the day. 70. So we'll see if that gets up here. Look at this though, man. Like I said, this is a monster trade here for Microsoft. Boom, boom, pow. This is one that's on our sticky note today. On the watch list, not on the watch list, sorry. I think we had big cap tech on the watch list, but here it is right now for Microsoft, right? We like this 281 level. Start buying 281. It's right here, guys. Possible break back up 284.50. So start buying 281. How is that? Right here, 281. Start buying. That's exactly what we did. We took a pre-market trade, but then we just started buying 281s, like we said. So a nice little move there. And then also the big bang for the day too, which I think could be the trade of the day, like I said, is AMD. Learn from our mistakes, take a 40-cent hit, and now hold a $2 winner. So AMD rocking to the upside, man. The net is exploding right now. The only thing we're worried about, of course, is my oil trade, which yesterday we took a lot of money off XOWeb, giving it back today on our boy Oxy.
Yeah, and that 110 finally goes on AMD. And again, you could have this breakout. There's nothing wrong with that triple top last couple of days, move into the 113. The setup's fine. You can take it. It works. I just feel like the way the market was barcoding back and forth, you were going to get a chance at a dip buy off VWAP, which is what we're going to hold on to. I still have the same target, but I got a new position. I finally got into Stitch Fix. It got up to 10 a couple of times. So, 993, and then this next time got to 96 and pulled back. I was looking for the first consolidation. It didn't really consolidate. The second consolidation didn't really consolidate off 970. It looked like it was about to. I got on the offer, and then it pumped up a little bit. I just got all in. My average price will end up being 70s. It could be 75s. That'd be a little bit better, but that's probably just the round number person to me saying I want those quarters in front of 10 even. If it breaks 10, I'm not going to be stubborn about it. Just going to walk away from the trade. If it makes another parabolic move up, I probably still want to fade it. They did not have a good quarter. It was pretty bad. But this market wants to go. And this is a name that can get dragged with it. Lucid's going to be a reload for me. It's been relatively weak this entire time, which I like. So it's now finally clawing its way back to that top. But 25.75 is overhead resistance on the 15, and your top is at 55. So it still has a chance to break the high, not get through that 75 on the 15-minute, and then you're going to get back into the short here. So I am going to look for another re-entry point into Lucid around 50 to 75. Ideally, if it's a failed breakout, then it might be a short somewhere in the 40 to 45 range. But I'll let it get to that 50 range. No need to rush into this trade. The market's pressing higher. And if it's going up and you want to short something when the market's breaking out, you have a level, then be patient with it because it's likely to give you the price that you want when you're going that counter trend. If you're taking the Tesla trade, it still can't seem to get past 855. AMD's breaking that high at 110 for the first time. Tesla broke 850, but it's gone $5 a couple of times. It's now just barcoding in the $5 range. I think both are waiting for the NASDAQ to make another leg higher. That seems to be the case. That MARPS, by the way, take your profit when you can, man, because I was looking for that short. It pulled back even faster than I thought, all the way down to 16 even. And HUSA as well went. HUSA got all the way to yesterday's high. Yesterday's resistance at about $8. You're going to see it here and then start to pull back, actually 7.5. This is setting up. If it takes out that 750, it could really go. At that point, I'm looking $10, $11 to get the short there. But MARPS is the one that looks like it's the current fade.
All right, guys. We just channel our inner Arun and just make some nice little cash right there on the futures as they go up to the upside. 40-cent win here on Trip Qs. Let's see if it continues to go, man. We are just laughing right now. $3 to $4 in the money Softy, $2 in the money AMD, and right now we're in the money with Valeria.
Hey Sean, we've got a super chat from Cody James. Thank you, Cody. How high should US steel go? Guys, can we take a look at X stock and its levels?
Yeah, sure. The U.S. Steel's right back to where it was a couple of days ago. I only know this because I actually sold in front of 30 in the long term. I think it's a little bit more of a volatile, not as quality as company as some of the other names, but it is definitely volatile and worth trading. And I look at the breakout that it put in harsh reversal off of 31.50, and I look at the channel that we're in. So it's got a great base at 29. This is where it previously consolidated broke out from. That's about where you'd want to be bouncing. But you look at this channel here, I don't see it getting through 31 to 31.5. I think it would take a pretty big move. That's your, whether you want to call it head and shoulders if you're into that sort of thing. But that was your top end of the range that immediately got rejected. And it ran away from that price in both directions. Ran away big time. We're talking $3 moves from there, and then when it rejected that level, $3 into the downside, or at least 2.5 into the downside. So I think 31 to 31.50 is about that level you'd be taking profit if you've got this break. And now that I look back at it, man, today, we've been talking about breakouts not being that good, but you get a double bottom at 29 here. You get a nice little tight consolidation, fake out at the open in both directions, because that's what it does at 9:30, it seems like every day. And then you get a clean 29 half break as long as you're willing to be patient, sit out that opening nonsense, which that's been the case. Look at the open, how stupid that is. Back and forth, whipping you around, but then the pre-market break of that 29.50, when it comes at 10 o'clock, it's fine. Or you wait till the top end of the range and take it at 10.15. And sometimes that's just what you got to follow the cues of the market. And some of those breakouts, it's not the best entry point at 9:30. Maybe you can be sitting in a good price in the pre-market, but you can just wait till 10 o'clock to shake some of these trades out. But 31.50, I feel like that's as far as it would go. I'd be looking to short that level if U.S. Steel gets to that price just for a setup. Brendo?
Hey guys, quick look at the overall market here. Nice positive board, finally, right across the entire thing. 2.3% now for the overall market. So great day. Back to highs here. The consumer discretionary group is leading the way. Every single name in this group. Down here is the financial group. Every single name in this group in positive territory. All of them. Industrials, same story. Lots of positivity in travel today. UAL, Dow, AAL, all on the watch list. 4.8 there for Love. Even FedEx with a nice 5.5% day back to the upside. There are a few negative names there, but offset and then some. Tech stocks also big movers today. The software names. Look at Salesforce up 6%. C days here, PayC, TYL, all 4 to 5% back to the upside. So widespread gains, to say the least. That's the energy sector. If you're wondering, crude, yeah, I mean, just kind of chopping around here, but all of the energy stocks back in negative territory. Material stocks as well, positive for the most part, but CF and Mosaic standing out there. Newmont, it is 3.5% at the bottom there as well, back to the downside. But overall, that group even still in positive territory. So nice bounce back day, 2.25%, guys. Back over to you.
All right. As the market continues to rip up, we got some nice wins on the market, which is the triple Qs. But the one market that we don't have any, we're only red, like we've traded AAL today, just complete destruction for the profits on AAL. So we'll just do this because this is all money coming in. AMD, we don't need to say anymore. Microsoft's $5, almost $5 now in the money. So that's been cash money for us. The triple Qs, come on. Great trade there for me as well. We just got out of some more SoFi right there. So those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've traded 5 stocks today, right? So there we go. That's 5 for 5. But then there's this ugly one right here, and that is going to be Oxy, which we've just shorted in one more time. Now we'll see if it can pull back. Oxy is not following oil whatsoever. So I don't, oil's making a move to the downside. Oxy's testing day highs right now. I still think that we have this one, but obviously my read today has been horrible on this. But I do want to give a big shout out to Krishna, who was like, oh man, your shorting on oil has been great. Okay, thanks, but not for me. So we'll wait to see. Hopefully oil comes back in. And there it goes, another 50-cent win exactly one more time here as we roll the dice back to the downside. Back to the upside for this. Hopefully downside for crude, upside for market. So a nice little win here, and we're just everything moving here. So nice move upside. Crypto moving as well. Bitcoin back to 42.4 right now off of a little bit of a move right here. It just touched down. This is still a 12-hour. I need to get a minute chart, but we were down to 38. It's a big move here in the last little while for BTC. Crypto trying to go. Watch out for 45. I still think that's in play.
We'll line them up and knock out MARPS, whatever company that is, who cares? But a double top there. Sometimes, like I said, it's just...
Come on, bro, you don't know MARPS?
Everybody knows MARPS.
Yeah, everybody knows MARPS.
Right? Except for, I have no idea.
I don't even know what it is. Let me see. MARPS.
At some point, I'll say the name of the company. I just got 18 to 17 here as it made a double top at about 19, but the real consolidation was off 18. These wicks are real. Like, it is spiking up, so you let it make that wick off top, find the consolidation. If it wants to break out from this point, at least we can't turn into a loser. But 16 would be my next out on MARPS. I know you're checking out the name of it as we speak. The futures are still trying to grind, so holding on to AMD makes some sense, although it is pulling back here. Just worth noting, it's coming back into 109, maybe leading the market a little bit because the market's still at least a little bit close to those highs. But as it starts to roll, I was waiting a little bit for Lucid to go, and I saw the market fading. I wanted it to break a little bit higher. But I said, look, if this is the short that's been working for me, I just have to jump back into the shares here, basically at that same price. So I reloaded at 25, 45. I thought maybe I'd get over 50 in front of that 75 level. But at this point, go back to the same plan. Go and get in front of 25, hold the rest, just in case. If the market flushes, this is the one that I want because it's held that support level, that resistance level from the week. It was the level we shorted yesterday, that 25.75, that just lines up on the 15-minute. It does set up for a breakout. If this gets through 25.75 Lucid, there's tons of room for it to run. Nothing wrong with that. But it has to get there for me to like that breakout long. Otherwise, we're going to sit in the short hopefully all day long.
Oh man, yeah, this is just so beside myself. I am not. It's a positive day. We're positive today. It's just this needs to work, man. So now we shorted again off that high of the day. So we just took some relief out there. Our average price isn't bad. It's only 12. It's just like you know, I'm talking Oxy here, by the way. We just took some out for a 12-cent hit there. We'll see if it can come back in. I'm waiting in the teens for another piece. And then if it fades back, okay, come on, just give me this right now. I'm actually at 15. See if, went to 16 there. Hopefully it comes back in. Normally if it goes to 16, it should go to 15, right? So we'll see if that comes back in right now on this play. So I'm really just concerned. This is my largest position. Like I said, I mean, I'll cheer. I'm a fanboy here for the AMD trade and for everything like that in Microsoft, but realistically, I'm already emptied out the GAT per se on that trade, so I'm not super worried about it. It's really just this Oxy trade, and we just took another piece out. We are now short at 16. I'm just slowly taking pieces out here on the way down. So there's another 09 out. Profit taking now, good, but now we can wait. Hopefully oil does fade. I just had too many shares there because we just got ran over, and then we got our ultimate fill up here at 54.40. That's the one that we were waiting for. So now, you know, you can see the average price is 22. These were losers getting out because it was averaged in, but we'll see here. What was my average price? I think it was 54.07 or so. So we need to at least get below that to make this trade an overall winner. But I'm thinking the next bid, honestly, like I have one in the 80s, but I still think we can get back into here, man. 53.40, 53.20, something like that on this name. You can see what's happening to oil right now. Downside, like look at this. Oil is making lows, not lows, but we're below the 50 period. We're trying to crack through 117 here, and for some stupid reason, Oxy is staying upside. So my read on this is definitely not correct, and that's what's happening right now with Oxy. So I'm going to try to hold this out for that bottom, but if we break above here, 54.60, that is literally where my stop order's at. So we'll see if that hits, then we got to be gone, and we'll just, you know, eat it on that. But you know, meanwhile, the NASDAQ and Microsoft is at its high right now. $5 now in the money. Sorry, $4.50 now in the money on Mr. Softy.
I see you there, Scott. HUSA, I'll go to that in a quick second, but two things before I get to HUSA, which apparently had a big volume spike. I'm on the bid in front of VWAP on Lucid, just like I was before, but I got to go to MARPS, right? So flip, there you go. Does another wick off top at 20. I got out, so we had the short, we took a buck, and then we tied the tight stop to get out of it. When these things make that consolidation, you got a wick high like that, I want to make sure you're playing inside the liquidity. If you give it to that high, you're getting out in front of another liquidity vacuum. At this point, it's already rejected off 20, and I didn't have that trade. So jumping over to this and saying I'm going to short it off the 20 level when it's already done it, not going to make that play. If it breaks 20 even, I mean, 22.5, 25, those types of things will be in play. HUSA, monster volume spike, but that one I was looking at $10. If it gets through this $8, which it feels like it's about to get through. There's actually a lot of room. If it breaks 8.25, 8.30, it looks like there's room to go. And last consolidation above there is 10. So it's got some upside room. It double bottomed here at 550. I think $10 is your resistance level for that one. And AMD just bounced off 109. We'll see what happens there, but I'm going to hold on to both of these. Neither one of these, with the market testing that high, whether it's a Lucid short or AMD long, I just don't feel like it's made a decision at this point, and there's no need to jump the gun, sort of overtrading any of these names. But I'm going to go ahead. If HUSA breaks any higher, I'm going to pay for the short, because 10 definitely could come into play. And for now, it looks like we could get that bid. Like it's, seriously? Yeah, it's like a couple of pennies away from getting that bid on Lucid. I thought I was about to get filled. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet. I talked about DWAC. I'm like, $80, $80, get to $80. It's grinding, it's trying to get there, but it's a slow ride to the upside as the market's been screaming up. It gets to 80, it sort of stands out as an obvious fade. I can't believe I wasn't there in the morning. I even paid for shorts today, thinking it was going to be a short day after the news yesterday, and then just never used it at 9:30. But you know what happens at 9:30? Like CVX was looking, it was like, yeah. Bang, 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 bang. You get distracted, and I forgot all about DWAC at 80. And you had to be there. It was within 1 minute, it was at that price and falling. So you got to be all over it in the moment that it's happening.
Yeah. All right, guys. Whoa. It's been a good day, man. The NASDAQ's been a monster. Remember when I said earlier, I said maybe the NASDAQ goes 4% today? I saw some chuckles in the chat. Let's see what happens, man. We're close to there, and right now we're 3/4 of the way there, right? And so let's see if it happens. We're still long. I mean, look at this trade, right? No Arun. We love Arun. He's going to be here next week. You could see 332. We're in the money, 80 cents now on our Qs trade. That's the NASDAQ futures. We believe in this market today, guys. $5 now in the money for Softy. $2 in the money for AMD, 30 cents in the money for AAL, a dime piece right here for SoFi, and Oxy, 28 cents in the money, and trying to go lower here. Come on, Oxy, you can do it. But over there at the big screen right now is going to be Brendan. It's crypto time. It's Money Talks. Let's go.
Hey guys, big moves once again today on currency markets as well. Back to the downside for the US dollar, was a whole percent at 1.9 right now, back to 98.16. So everything very, very strong so far. The euro 1.3, 0.5% for our Canadian dollar. British pound was up more than 0.5%, coming back in a little bit. Both Australia and New Zealand were up more than a full percent at one point as well. Same story for the Turkish lira. We were just saying, Valeria and I were just saying, yeah, strength for the Russian ruble today. Almost 12% right now, back to the upside for the Russian ruble. Bitcoin, 10.25%. That's the daily chart over there of Bitcoin. Bounced nicely once again off this 36, 37 area back to, what are we at? 42 and change right now, guys, for BTC. Back over to you.
Yeah, like we said, it just can't seem to break too far past that 42. So look, I've been looking at Coinbase. We had a good trade there, but if it continues to try to press and we don't get past 42, it just feels like a fade. Only about 7 minutes to go till we throw you to Trader Pratt and Miss V for the midday, and we're going to be breaking out, hopefully in the midst of that. I shouldn't have jinxed that, but the NASDAQ is still grinding higher. That IMPP, look, there's so many of these that are trying to go. I showed you HUSA, IMPP, I mean, whatever, 9. It does, like, they're all trying to catch a bit of a bid here after yesterday's capitulation, and I think each one, to me, is going to be a fade at some point today. I'm not chasing any of these things to the long side after what we saw in yesterday's trade. $6 is a pretty big level here. That's actually the one, you know, I was sort of looking at this one at $6 a little bit earlier, and then it just never moved. Now we're going to take a look at $6. If it gets there again, there's a stacked offer, 65, 70, 75, all the way up on IMPP, like 15, 20,000 shares I'll be seeing on the offer at each of those prices. So there's already people trying to sell in front of it. It tested once. It's been trying to go again, so a bit of a lower high consolidation play happening in IMPP.
All right, guys, I don't have much to do here. I mean, Oxy is fading back in. We just took another bid. I lied. We did take a bid there at 54 because it's just been bouncing around 54 here, and we are now 40 cents in the money. So we'll take that. Again, in order for this to be a profitable, I mean, this trade is profitable, but for this name to be profitable for me, we got to come back in, man. We got to get to 53 again, like testing some VWAP spots. But I haven't been reading it good, so we take profits as it comes through, right? And so those are profit spots right there for me. Other than that, I think we're going to be letting you guys go soon as the market comes back in here. I'm pretty light. I am very light in everything, but I just want to show maybe AAL, or sorry, that's not AAL. AAL, I'm still at 23 cents. SoFi is waiting for a reload down here at 80. That could be something. But oil's starting to go back up right now, and you can see the market coming back down. So, yep, we are long the market and short oil. Still in the money 10 cents on this trade, but that's why we did get some out. You know, you notice that it just bounces around here, keeps making these bottom wicks, and then just keeps reloading itself. So, you know, and Dan made a good point there in the chat. And it was just that, like, if oil's actually going to the high side, is anybody really going to be shorting Oxy today or sending it to the downside? I was just wondering if it was more of a profit-taking situation because of how high Oxy's been the last couple days, and that if people are fearful, I mean, this was only $38 back a week ago, right? And so, or I guess 2 weeks ago. So it's a big move up. It's almost a double for many people, even more than that. This is like, what, the 14th or 15th day into the invasion. So if you were long anywhere down here, like 38, 39 bucks, I just feel like if you didn't get out and you didn't get out, then today you might have been a little scared with some of these moves. So that's sort of my thesis behind that. And obviously it doesn't look like it's going to be super correct at all. But Oxy, and again, you know, I've learned from this trade, stay away from me for oil until you get these absolute best prices, and then take your hits as they come, Brendo.
Yeah, totally agree. Crazy moves on all of those names once again today. Let's get you caught up on what's to come both tonight and tomorrow morning as far as earnings, guys.
Ooh, FL. Yeah, that one, like, I know a lot of people usually look at that one in the alternative energy there. Ooh, Marquetta as well. It's not really a lot there, Asana. CrowdStrike is probably going to be interesting just because you just recently had the deal with Google making an acquisition. So I know a lot of people looking at cybersecurity and obviously what's going on.
I only know like 5 of those symbols. Like I don't even know, like wheels up. I don't know even what that symbol is. So, but
I can make a guess. But
what is your guess?
Well, I was going to say wheels up is some kind of like a.
No, I know what it is. I'm saying, what do you know what the symbol is?
Oh, the symbol? Oh, God, no.
Yeah, see, so that's what I mean. We just
Particularly
haven't looked at any of those names. So, yeah, wheels up is the jet, the private jet.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you know what? It's just UP. Good for them. Great ticker.
Up. Yeah,
just
good
up.
one. Yeah, good one. Up and hopefully not down. But that's wheels up. Oh, you know what? What about Boeing? Boeing's been in the news a little bit here lately. They got some orders the other day. I think it was from, was it Thailand or somewhere? Some air bought 7 or 10 planes, something like that, which is good. So we'll see about demand, but there's Boeing's been getting clapped as well, down to 165. I still like Boeing, but I mean, you know, if I say, oh, I like Boeing here and it goes down $20, people are going to be like, what happened to Boeing? But anyways, that's what that is right now. I like this name. Just trying to get back to some of these levels. That's Boeing. Not much to review with you guys, man. AAL, we do want to get the reload into the long there if we can. That's just not happening right now. AAL has been a very strong name for me today. AMD, everything's ready to rock and roll. I heard something in my ear, but no idea what it was.
I'm going to guess.
Ford, he said.
Well, but
Randy.
There's still only about 2 or 3 minutes left. You know, there is one other thing we do before we kick things off and hand them over to Trader Pratt and Ms. V. And let's go to Ms. V to find out what national.
Let's do this.
Thank you, Neil, and hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful bullish morning so far. As guys said, please join Prad and me to continue trading this day, and make sure you like this video. Just 200 more likes needed to get 2,000, and today is a positive day, so it's the best day to get 2,000 likes. Happy National Meatball Day, everyone.
Ooh, I'm loving some meatballs, but I do not like Swedish meatballs.
We actually had spaghetti and meatballs last night, so it was you know, one of those like staples. My daughter absolutely loves it. Although she's like, I told you about this. It's like right now she does ketchup instead of actual pasta sauce because you know kids and ketchup. I don't
spaghetti.
Look, it's tomato based. That's about the only thing I'll say. You know me. I get the same cringe.
All good. As long as she eats it, man.
That's exactly.
You know,
the
we're not
point.
trying to fight these kids. That's for damn sure.
You gotta just let them.
Yo, my kid put the ketchup all over the Philly steak sandwich. So there you go. My 7-year-old. So yeah, sometimes. There we go. Here we go. New highs for Microsoft. Boom! It's a sausage cannon kind of day. They're the Qs. Look at the Qs trade, guys. $1 in the money on the triple Qs. What up, Arun? Right now, that's in the money. We are just rocking. Like we are on one right now. Microsoft $5, AMD $1.89, AAL 40 cents, SoFi a dime piece, and there pulls back now. Oxy, it does go to that high. We did not reload because we were scared crapless, but here comes Oxy back down to the downside as the market takes off. Oh, by the way, the People's Trader called what percent? 4% on the NASDAQ. It's 3.12. That's a ballsy call, but I'm here to make them for you every single day, and that's what we do here on Trader TV Live. AMD, a hammer trade for me today. Let's go Oxy to the downside. Here it comes. It's pulling back very, very nicely for us right now. So I'm still thinking we get this 53 at some point. Hopefully we get it, and hopefully it comes sooner rather than later.
I see right in the chat there, a couple people have mentioned this, and I just noticed GM and Ford have been really strong today. GM's oddly up, usually less than Ford. It's up 6% when Ford is up 3.5%. So that's going to be bear some watching. That's a big discrepancy and might lead to a fade at some point in general in the General Motors.
GM's been beat up so much.
I know, but
just at 52.
I can't remember the last time that GM was almost double what Ford was up, and I kind of feel there might be a fade at some point in the afternoon. But that's for another time. We will be back at 2 o'clock, so we can definitely talk about that. And also, throughout lunch, we can always come and update some of the positions and what the market is doing. Let's send you over to Trader Pratt and Ms. V. Go get them.
Hey, yo, you know what time it is? It is time for the Ms. V and Trader Pratt show. Welcome back. It's Wednesday, March 10th.
That's right, Prad. Hey guys, welcome. Indeed, positive day. So please make sure you like this video, ask us anything, and as usual, be active on the chat. How's the trading day going?
So far, not bad at all. You know, market's having a great day. 3% on NASDAQ, 2.5% on the